6:30. Welcome to the May 12th, 2026 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Bloomfield Township. Let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please take attendance.
So noted.
All right, so I need a motion to approve or amend the minutes from the April 14th meeting.
So moved.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. So as a brief introduction, the Zoning Board of Appeals is a 7-member quasi-judicial body appointed by the Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees per the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Matters pending before the Zoning Board of Appeals are decided on a case-by-case basis. Any appeal or decision made by the Zoning Board of Appeals is subject to circuit court review. Each case will be called separately in the order shown on tonight's agenda. There will be an opportunity for public comment at one point during each case. All persons wishing to comment will be asked to provide their name and address at the podium. Address your comments to the board and not the applicant or other members of the public. Given the number of appeals tonight, please make your comments brief. Comments by the Neighborhood Association will be considered as part of the factual information presented to the board, but those comments are not the determining factor for approval or denial. Please confine comments to the specific request before the board. For a request to be successful, an affirmative vote of at least 4 members present is required. We hope this provides a better understanding of what you can expect at tonight's meeting. And so now we'll call the first item, item 1T 810 Highwood. Is the applicant ready? Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I was going to say, you may recognize me from last month. So we're back in front of you. I actually just got a communication from my client that they would like to remove the permissions request for the fountain. So I'm just in front of you tonight for the fence. So that is a dimensional variance for the fence that falls in the secondary front yard along Squirrel Road. It's a 4-foot height pool and dog enclosure fence. It's going to be screened from Squirrel Road with a line of evergreen trees. It also maintains the 4-foot height per pool code and township height restrictions, and it is set back 13 foot 8 inches from the property line.
And so just as a reminder, this is back before us because it was not noticed as a dog enclosure at the last meeting. Do we have any questions of the applicant? So I'll open this to the public. Is there anyone here who'd like to comment on this agenda item? I'll close the public hearing and then bring it back to the board for discussion or a motion.
Couple questions. From the last meeting, the ZBA, not the ZBA, the HOA was not in favor of this. Did you happen to work with them and get their approval?
That's correct. No, we're planning on speaking with them further after the outcome of this meeting.
It's usually the opposite of how we would normally do it. So based on our permit, if we give you yes, then you can go to the HOA and they could, what's the repercussions, right? So it's kind of usually you would get that approval or some type of a compromise prior to coming.
Feedback.
Sure.
Okay. And then how far is the dog fence from the property to the south?
25 feet.
Are you planning on putting evergreens there?
Yes. I know it's not shown, but they plan on adding evergreens.
And those are evergreens that will completely cover the fence at the time of planting, right?
That's correct, the height of the fence.
Yep.
So they want to put in trees that will, so they're thinking of doing like green giant arborvitaes there just due to the shade. So the space spatially, they're gonna be about 7 to 8 foot on center, so upon planting, and a minimum of 8 foot height. So they're not gonna immediately necessarily screen the fence completely, but height-wise, they will. And then once they grow in, we're not gonna plant them super tight, so they have room to grow in.
So we enforce rules that state that it has to be screened at time of planting. So we enforce the same rules to you as other people. And we understand that we want to make sure that the trees are healthy enough so that they can be able to grow and not crowd each other. But how can I allow you to plant them 8 feet apart, and then the next person I say you have to screen it, if I see it, the ordinance guy's gonna come by? We have to make it standard for everybody.
Understood. So what's a comfortable spacing then for an 8 foot evergreen that the
You
board?
could do 8 foot and then just stagger them in front of the other, right? So
Sure.
you so that way it's still completely blocked.
Understood, so similar to the treatment along Squirrel.
Yes.
Okay, that's acceptable.
And again, you're only 13 feet from the side yard on Squirrel
Off of Squirrel, correct?
versus 16.
Correct.
And that's 13 to your property line, not the easement, correct?
Correct, to the property line, 13 foot 8. The client is amenable to going 16, if we were gonna treat it as a side yard.
I think that would be looked upon favorably and a good idea.
Do we have any comments from the neighborhood association that we talked about last week, that I don't recall, or last month? Did anybody speak?
The HOA president did. And based on this applicant's feedback is they have not been able to circle back to come up with a consensus with the HOA. Now, again, we don't necessarily have, HOA has influence into our decision, but isn't the governing body here.
And to me, because it's a 4-foot fence, she's put up the screening, she's now pulled it back to 16 feet on the side yard. I'm okay with it.
I think she's made several compromises. So, let's see if we can get this passed. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Please do.
So in regard to the appeal at 810 Highwood for the accessory structure, I move the request to be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as we have pool fences and dog enclosure fence. We want to make sure it's safe for not only the people that live there, but so that neighbors or somebody else doesn't fall into that pool. The amendments that we're making to this is, it's gonna be 16 feet from the the Squirrel Road setback, not 13 feet. And then we were going to plant whatever type of evergreen style plantings that you want to the height of the fence, whether it's staggered, whether it's however you guys are gonna do it, but it cannot be seen even at time of planting. So however you guys wanna do that with your landscape architect, that's great. And again, on the west, south, north, and east side, all that fence has to be covered. So all the fence has to be screened.
So along that north side,
It's driveway, isn't it?
that's correct. So we have the screening that goes up a Squirrel, and then they have, there's some existing trees on the corner of Highwood and Squirrel.
Because it's a 4-foot fence. I mean,
I just don't like seeing fences from the road.
no, I.
So, and you're not gonna see it from the road. Their elevation, their property is
Yeah,
fine.
it's a
So
4-foot.
again,
Correct. And along that northeastern portion, they are screening that.
perfect. So the only
Already.
side that we're not screening is the north side with, again, there's an elevation change from the road. They're not gonna see it anyways.
Correct, it's the northwest side, yeah.
And again, it's to be able to see it from the road. So if we can't see it from the road, that would actually suffice. So,
Understood.
with that, if this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And again, the additional evergreen screenings will be required on the west, south, and east side, which you said you were already doing anyways.
Correct.
And they will be planted to the height of the fence at time of planting.
Support.
So I have a very well-developed motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your
Thank you.
request as
Thank you, everyone.
modified is
Appreciate your
granted. Okay. So calling item 1, 3249 South Bradway.
Hi, my name is Rick Wine. I'm here with SW Luxury Homes. Seeking a 1-foot variance. Excuse me, a little bit of a cold. We have we're expanding an existing home built in the 50s. And the garage is now is a term correct,
Non-conforming, yep.
situation. We're extending the garage back about 13 feet and would like to maintain the existing side yard setback so as not to create any oddities with the jog in the building. Andrea knows how sensitive the village is with regard to oddities on the exterior. And I think you're probably very familiar with this situation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
It looks as though we have the approval from Kathy Weisenborn also, which is the HOA.
Yes, I should have said that. We do have the village approval.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
Oh, I got to open the public.
I'm sorry.
I
Jumping the gun
I
here.
like your enthusiasm, that's good. Anyone in the public that would like to comment on this item? Open the public hearing. So I'll close the public hearing and I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, well, with regard to the dimensional variance at the address of 3249 Bradway Boulevard for the variance required for an addition to an existing non-conforming garage that will encroach 1 foot into the required 16-foot side yard setback, I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to that this is already a non-conforming structure in the size of the lot. There is no injustice to adjoining neighbors by reason that it is consistent with other homes in the area. The unique circumstances with the property have been demonstrated due to the fact that there already is an existing home with a certain degree of, he's working with the size of the lot, and as a result, it is not self-created. So if approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your
Thank you very
request is
kindly.
granted. So now we're going to be calling item 2, which is 5385 Long Meadow.
Hi, board members. So my name is Sabrina Brown with Mosier Design Co., and I'm here on behalf of the homeowners at 5385 Long Meadow. So I'm here before you tonight for 2 requests. The first is regarding associated with the proposed pool house that was previously approved, as well as a permission request for partially recessed chillers to kind of act as an ice rink over the originally proposed tennis court. So I'd like to address the pool house first. So this item actually appeared before you, as I said, a couple months ago. At that time, the board reviewed the proposed structure and granted the associated height variance. However, during the public notice process, it was inadvertently missed that size variance was also required, and the staff were very helpful in assisting us to kind of get that resolved. So we are now back in front of you with regards to the size variance. So importantly to note that with the wording of the ordinance, the attached secondary garage is technically considered an accessory structure. So since that's considered an accessory structure, that puts us over with the pool house that 50% allowed square footage of the first floor of the house. So if it was considered part of the primary structure, this pool house would have no issues with regards to that ordinance. So that's kind of the confusion with this. But it will be, the height has not changed, the pool house has not changed, the screening that did get approved did not change. It will be fully screened. It is kind of more the technicality of that size difference. So The second item is regarding these chillers. So they are partially recessed into the ground, 2 foot below grade and 3 foot exposed. Not only is there screening along the actual property line, but they are gonna be adding screening directly around the chiller area at 4 feet in height, so covering it by, in addition to 1 foot. Obviously, if any drainage is a concern, there is a whole site drainage area that has positive drainage away from it. And, yeah, it should be noted that all of these units have approximately 60 decibels, which is pretty standard to a standard AC unit. But I would be happy to answer any questions.
So this is interesting.
Yeah.
So, you know, typically when we have a request for an ice rink, there's other, you know, conditions that we put on it, which would also apply to the tennis court, right? So it can't be lit. You know,
Correct.
they're-
And it is following, we
Yeah.
have it following all of the same
Okay,
rules as the sport court.
okay. Any other questions? All right, I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this item? Close the public hearing then, bring it back for further questions or a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Sure.
In regards to the permission requests at 5385 Long Meadow Road for the accessory structure exceeding the 50% usable space, as well as the 2 chillers or ground-mounted mechanical units not adjacent to the home. I move the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as many other people in this area have these. We've already approved the structure. It's just a matter of kind of that technicality associated with the overall size of the accessory space, as well as people have sports courts and tennis courts and other types of things in this area. So that is all standard. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to the installation. Additional evergreen screening shall be required, which we've already gone over in the last one, specifically for the ice rink chillers, which you already said you're going to do at 4 feet. And then the use of ice rink is limited to daytime hours only, cannot be lit. No illumination is permitted on the ice rink. And the ice rink must be converted by May 1st, 2027, and the area be restored.
I guess it doesn't need to be restored, it's a tennis court underneath, so.
Yes, during winter use, essentially.
Yeah, so if you're putting up
Return to
boards-
its original tennis
Yep.
court state.
Are they putting up boards and backing and everything like that?
Yes, there will be kind of the perimeter that actually holds the water in, correct?
Yeah, so then that will be removed,
Correct.
so which that's,
Okay.
has to be done by May,
I would support that.
May 1st.
Is there a dimensional variance too, that you have to put a
It
size?
said just
Yeah, for-
permission.
No,
It's for the
dimensional variance.
size of the
And
pool
dimensional
house.
variance, thank you so much, I appreciate it. So for the dimensional variance, in regards to the appeal at 5385 Long Meadow Road, for the dimensional variance, again, for the 50% exceeding the accessory space for the structure, I move the variance be approved as requested based on information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with all section. Practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because, again, people in this area have this type of structure. It is normal for the area. There's no injustice to adjoining neighbors by the reason of we're screening it, and other neighbors have the similar type of accessory building. Unique circumstance of this property have been demonstrated given the fact that, again, it is a large home with large accessory space, and that is okay. This is not self-created due to the fact that, again, we already approved the structure. Now we're just doing the technicality of the accessory space. Again, same conditions apply.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, request is
Thank you, board
granted.
members.
I apologize, I neglected to say at the start of the meeting that item 4, which is 4906 Charing Cross, has been removed, so that is not going to be heard tonight. And then item 5, which is 6700 Mark Court, has been postponed. So items 4 and items 5 will not be heard tonight. So now let's go to item 3, which is 3289 Devonbrook Drive. Is the applicant ready?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
We're here to get permission to put in a shed.
Did you want to tell us where it's located and what it's made of? What it looks like?
Yep, it is just your typical 10 by 16 shed, wood-sided, asphalt shingled top, doors in the rear of the house.
And you have a landscape plan?
Yep, just arborvitae's around it so that it's screened, probably some hostas, daylilies, that kind of thing. There, as you can see, there's pine trees down the side of the house already, so you really can't see into the backyard from that side of the property anyway.
Anything else you'd like to add before I open the public hearing?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll open this for public comment. Anyone that'd like to comment on this item? So I'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. Any further questions of the applicant?
So I might as well bring it up. So, your screening plan, I don't know if it's gonna be adequate based on what we were saying to everybody, right? So it has to be, you have to plant some type of evergreen style trees. So those pine trees that you have now, which are beautiful on your property, aren't gonna be enough to completely block it from the road. So we're gonna have to put some additional, whatever that may be,
Right.
in. So
Right.
are you agreeing to that and more than happy?
Yeah.
And they have to be, exceed the height, to this- at least the height of the structure or exceeding it at time of planting.
Okay, so we'd have to put in like 10-foot tall arborvitae's?
Or
whatever?
trees, or whatever.
Okay, because there's literally an apple tree behind it currently, and I know you really almost won't be able to see any of it. If you were really looking, the 4 pine trees are 30 feet tall, like they're big.
So it's just the bottom part of it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
again,
they go to the ground, the pine trees, but,
so as long as you can't see it from the road and it's adequate, but if it's not,
okay,
then you will have to plant. So as
Okay.
long as you understand that and you can
Yeah.
bake that into your budget, I think we can get you a motion.
okay, yep, we understand.
Perfect.
I'll make a motion.
I think we're ready for a motion. Yeah.
Oh.
I think she understands the
I
condition.
just want a point of clarification. It sounds like the motion has to do with only requiring screening from the road. So I just wanted to get a clarification in terms of any other landscaping surrounding the.
Yeah, it has to be screened. You said the road. I do apologize. It has to be screened so that none of your neighbors can see it.
Northeast and west.
It's up to be screened from public view, so
East and west.
wherever that is.
And so I just, is this clear enough for enforcement to be able to interpret?
Now it
Okay.
is, yes.
Okay. We want to help everybody here. Okay, let's go
Well, good.
forth with a clear motion.
All right, well, I'd like to motion to approve the permission request for the property at 3289 Devon Brook Drive for a shed. I move that the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate for the neighborhood as sheds are very common. And the accessory structure should not be objectionable to nearby residents because it's going to be adequately screened. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And additional evergreen plantings will be required to screen the shed from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the shed at the time of planting.
Support.
I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
So now we'll move ahead to item 63539 Walbury.
Hi guys, Randy from Action Fence. I'm here for the homeowner, and we're looking at the permission request for this one more time. Last time we were here, we were just getting the fence because it's a double front yard. Now there's been some changes with her dog situation, and now there's gonna be a dog there sometime, so they wanna get a permission request for dog containment.
Yeah, so when we approved this, we didn't realize there was a dog.
Correct.
Now, it's been re-noticed as a dog enclosure fence, and so that's why you're back here.
Correct.
Okay.
When I originally saw this person, it was a brand new house. I saw her dad. Didn't mention anything about a dog to me prior to. nor during. So I was as surprised as you guys are that I'm here today.
Okay. Any other questions from the board before
I'll wait for public comment.
Okay, yeah. I'll open this to the public. Anyone that'd like to comment on this item? This dog enclosure fence? All right, close the public hearing. We've been back for questions now.
So we did receive a couple emails from people asking, why do we need to go to the property lines for a dog enclosure fence? If it's gonna be for the dogs, can't we have a smaller area instead of that southern lot to the southern property line?
You absolutely could.
So, because again, when we originally looked at this, it was more about keeping the grandkids safe from coyotes or nature and some of the wildlife that they were worried about with that new area.
Right. Still gonna be.
Yeah,
bad as
which is
well.
still part of the reason we're doing this, but there's also now a dog, which now adds to the dog enclosure piece. Obviously, the Squirrel Road thing, that makes sense, and there's already kind of a rickety fence there anyways. We're just
Yeah.
replacing it to make it up to not only code, but aesthetically pleasing.
I'm not replacing the squirrel fronts. That's
Not at
staying
all?
where it's at.
Okay.
It's just the dark red, the
You
thicker.
got the two sides, you.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So then, we've gotten emails from people specifically on why do we need to make it this big?
Again, it can be small. It's not, they're not glued to it. In my experience with fences, people seem to think that they own up to a fence. It's happened to me many, many, many times.
The
where
encroachment, yeah.
Neighbors will start building things into an area, oh, you have a fence there, that must be my property. So that's why I always press for trying to get the fence out to the property line, because this is mine, that is yours, don't come on my property.
But
It's
you said
happened
that-
hundreds of
Oh, no,
times to me.
I completely understand that.
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
But then we also try to enforce the type of screening. So even though this is kind of a dog enclosure and kind of not, how are we able to screen it if we go to the property line?
Again, even if you were to bring it in, we had the same conversation before, I don't think you remember though.
Like-
This is heavily canopied. Even if I tried to plant something underneath there, everything on the ground is dead. It's all leaves on the ground. There's no grass growing, there's nothing down there. She has maybe 20 feet of backyard, the rest of it's all just overgrown.
Yeah,
So, trying
after
to-
our conversation, I drove by it, so.
Yeah.
So are they willing to abide by the setbacks, if we say,
We can pull it in, whatever we need to,
to 16 feet or what would it be, 16 or 25? Or about
16.
16.
16 feet on the sides.
Okay.
But then are we gonna make them adequately screen it? Because he has a practical difficulty associated with why.
For the screening, you mean?
Yes. And it's a fair point. That area does have lots of trees and we wanna keep it very treed, right? We don't want, so.
Well, I would hate to waste money just planting
No,
a
no,
bunch of
no.
evergreens for them just to die because they get no sun.
Well, bringing it in helps.
Yeah, it seems like if he brings it in 16 feet on, all right, so we're gonna bring it in 16 feet on the south side there, correct?
Absolutely.
And the north side too.
And the north side.
Can do.
Okay, so if he does that, I mean, I haven't been out there. I mean, I trust what you're saying, Chris, and what you're saying. If he can't grow anything, then,
You can't, and I really want screening in the front, but I do understand it is such an elevation in the front because the house sits up. Natural topography may actually screen it for them.
Yeah, you can't see it.
what's the color of the fence?
Black.
It's gonna be black fence, so it's black fence, which helps.
So,
It's like, if you drive up there, the pictures I took originally, I don't know if they're on this one or not, yeah, right there. I had to literally stand in
Oh, snow.
in my truck to get an elevated picture and hold the camera up like so, to get a picture of the side, so the person driving by won't even see it.
And so don't you think if he pulls it in to the setback, it's black,
That helps.
yeah, mitigates the impact and
And it's only-
addresses some of the comments from the neighbors.
Then it's 4 feet, right? It's not,
Correct.
it's a 4 foot.
And it's a 4-foot fence again, so that helps.
no, that's a practical difficulty.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. I don't know how everybody else feels. We have a lot of fences this evening.
We certainly do.
Interesting
And we're gonna have a
fact
common
patterns.
theme,
Yeah,
so, okay.
We're
It's that
very-
time of year.
we're very careful with fences, so.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, thanks.
Just give me a second, all right? We're on
Number 6.
We're on 6 now. So are we gonna have a dimensional?
The dimensional
Yeah, we still will, because it'll
it's in the secondary.
it'll still be in the secondary
Secondary
frontage,
frontage,
even with the fact that they were, we were able to compromise on the 16 feet. So we'll go with the permission request. In regards to the appeal at 3539 Walbury, for the accessory structure, the fence, I move the request be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as they already have a fence along Squirrel Road. This is just adding to it and ensuring that their dog will be safe in their yard and not go out into some of those other areas. In regards to the dimensional variance, at the same address, for the variance in the secondary frontage, I move the variance be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for all practical difficulty because compliance with particularly the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because they wouldn't be able to build a house there because of the 2 setbacks. There'd be no adjustments to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of we've compromised on the setbacks and the addition of it only being a 4-foot fence, so it will mitigate any type of visual disturbance to the neighborhoods. The unique circumstance of the property have been demonstrated, given the fact that, again, it has 2 frontages, both Walbury and Squirrel. And this is not self-created due to the fact, again, they have 2 frontages, both Squirrel and Walbury. Again, the amendments that we're doing is we will be minimum of 16 feet from the southern property line and a minimum of 16 feet from the northern property line. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And at this time, additional evergreen screenings will not be required.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is modified as granted.
Thank you.
Okay. So calling item 71595 Kirkway.
Good evening, my name's Ivan Katz, Great Lakes Landscape Design. I'm here on behalf of the Otto family. We are seeking a permission request and dimensional variance for 2 non-illuminated piers. They are in keeping with the neighborhood. The architecture will match the existing piers on the property.
4 or 2?
There's 4, I'm sorry,
Okay.
4 total.
Don't want you to
2
come
on
back
each side
twice.
of the driveway. It's a circular drive, and they're basically in line with the neighbors that are to the south,
And not in the easement.
not in the easement, no. And they'll be in line with the boxwoods that are there.
Any questions from the board? I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this item? All right, I'll bring it back. Any further questions? I think it's somewhat simple,
We
Yep.
just did,
straightforward. You
I'll
like
make a
that?
motion.
Okay,
With regard to the appeal at 1595 Kirkway Road, first with the permission request for the non-illuminated piers, I move that the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as it is very similar to what his neighbor to the south, I believe you said, has. Further, I'm going to move on to the dimensional variance request at the same address for the non-illuminated piers located in the front yard. I move that this request be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because the fact that the location of the driveway and such is typical of the neighborhood. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors. Unique circumstances with this property is that it has a circular driveway in the front, and that is not self-created. So if approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And additional evergreen plantings may be required to soften the non-illuminated piers from public view.
support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, the request is granted. So calling item 83720 Mill Spring.
Hi, how are you? So I originally put this together.
So your name and address?
Ross Wilberding with, or at 3720 Mill Spring Road. So I initially put this application together for the sake of safety. With 3 young kids. This is a learning experience for me, and I, just for the course of
It is for everyone.
a few
So-
items,
Yeah, it's not.
I can understand the, the strictness of the screening. We provided a revised plan from the one that's shown there that did include some screening, but certainly not to the extent that has been discussed, as far as being completely screened. And I also understand there's quite a bit of opposition to this item. So I guess I wanted to, get an understanding that with this being, certainly visible.
Yeah, it's a high visibility
more or
area.
less,
Yeah,
right.
it's kind of the first thing you see when you pull in there, so
Yeah,
I think there's a desire to sort of soften that impact.
right. So in any case, this is what we've proposed here. We've got 12 5-foot green giants with the expectation that they would grow in. Obviously, that's not going to provide full screening. This was submitted based on what was within reach for us at the time. So with that, I guess if this was fully screened, we probably wouldn't be here, in front of you, more or less.
Well, you'd still be
serve as a
here,
fence.
but it would probably, it'd address a
Sure,
lot of the
yeah,
concerns. And you'd, I'll just say, you'd meet the standard, and so our standard is that it's gonna have to be screened from public view. So it's two ways you could get this, you could have the fence lower, maybe if it goes to 5 feet, that
Right.
reduces the height of what you have to put in. But you've already heard with the other fences we discussed, it's gotta be screened from public view, and I think that's what the concern is for all
Yeah.
the feedback we've gotten.
Understood, yeah, and I guess, noting kind of what I've learned just in the items leading up to this, as well as, knowing that there's some opposition to this from our property owners association and presumably from other neighbors as well. I'd be interested in, I guess, tabling this or, withdrawing it for the time being, because, I don't, at the same time, understanding the requirements and not wanting to alienate some neighbors.
So you wanna, your request is to table it so you can get feedback from the association, maybe reach
Yeah, I
a
mean,
compromise?
yeah, perhaps.
So if I could nominate you for an award, I would do that. So that's, but I mean, no, but I'm saying that's really what we encourage, and I think,
Yeah.
I can't make the motion, but I'm impressed, and, thank you for doing that. Because there is a lot of opposition to it, and it seems like you've,
Yeah, I mean, I'm here, under the responsibility I have for my wife and my kids,
Sure.
Anyways, yeah, that's,
so I'm just curious, how many people here in the audience want to speak on this item? Could you raise your hand? So we have a couple. So there's a couple people here you could even talk to
yeah.
now, maybe,
yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, before somebody makes that motion, could we provide a little bit of questions or
Sure.
discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, as you know, the spirit of the ordinance is to be completely screened, however you get there. And again,
Well-
your original request was to almost put it in the property line, which you'd have to pull it back in order to screen it properly, right?
Right.
So, if we were gonna even consider approving it, you're gonna have to screen anyways. So if you want safety, you could screen it, which is allowed to do on your property without any type of HOA or approval from us. And then you wouldn't have to have a fence there, and it would still provide a natural buffer for both sound, noise, and visual, which are all the things that you talked about for your safety for your family. So it would be a cheaper option for you not to have to put a fence behind all that and still do all those things, and it would probably mitigate a lot of the issues that your neighbors are bringing up.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was trying to get at earlier. If I could afford to put that in, I wouldn't even be here. So, but yeah, so that's, certainly an option that we're exploring. Yeah, there won't be a fence if we can, fully screen it with evergreen, so.
Yeah, I think
That's
that-
part of why I wanted to,
I think that would be the best avenue for you and your family, because it would provide all the things you're looking for
Certainly, yeah.
without causing
Yes.
any disconnect between you and your neighbors, which
Yeah.
is not what you want.
absolutely.
So we're here to, listen, so do you want us, is the request to postpone this then?
I think postpone it and I can withdraw it, between now and the next time, I think. If that,
Somebody has to table it.
familiar with the rules, but.
That'd be
Chair, I'd like
quick
to
motion.
make a
So we're making so we're helping staff, the better motion would be to postpone or table, or, Or withdraw, he could
Or are you
withdraw, I
withdrawing
guess he
your
could withdraw it.
application?
So
Well,
he
is-
couldn't he withdraw it and then,
Are you withdrawing, or do you want time to discuss it and figure out with your wife and your neighbors?
I think it would make sense to me to just, rather than withdraw, if I have to resubmit and then I miss the next meeting for some reason, you know, I think it'd be nice if I could just table it or postpone. I don't know,
Yeah.
again, I don't know what the rules are, so.
You can table it. The only thing to keep in mind is at the next meeting, if it comes back, it would have to be heard by the same members that are here tonight. But it also sounds like there could be possibly a significant change between now and then. So I think tabling probably makes the most sense. Postponing is usually ahead of a meeting had it not been noticed.
right?
In this instance, it's been heard, it's been noticed, it should be tabled.
Well, really, what did we really hear? All that we see just sort of defended, I guess there is some material in the record about it, so. He was really sort of seeking out, anyway, let's table it.
Mr. Chairman, based on the discussion that just ensued, I'd be willing to offer a motion to go ahead and table this particular item.
Support.
So I have a motion and support to table. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Yeah, your request is tabled.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for getting the feedback from your neighbors. So calling item 9, 3747 Franklin.
Good evening, Zach Hanna with RZ Engineering and DHE on behalf of my client for 3747 Franklin Road. This house is a new house construction. We started it last year, and then the owner wanted to add the existing garage to the house to the living space, and then build a attached garage to the side, encroaching into the setback by about 7 foot 10 inches into the south setback. And the yellow area that you see here, it's the encroachment into the setback.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We have one letter also from the neighbors. They are not opposing. I think it's on the east side. They are not opposing to this addition.
Okay, any other questions before I open it up?
So the lot to the south of you, who owns that? Is that a utility easement or is that a waterway easement?
Yeah, I think this is there is an easement there, and
Maybe
there is
yeah.
this other parcel here.
Yeah.
It's owned by another person.
It is an easement. It's associated, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, it has something to do with the HOA. I think it was an HOA, a previous easement to access the water,
The water,
or,
that's-
I don't know the exact, but I believe.
That's what it looks like to me.
It's definitely related to the subdivision, it's definitely an easement. Historically, I'm not sure why it was installed. I can only presume it had to do with lake access. But no, that's definitely an easement that's owned by the HOA,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay, so you have approval from just the neighbor to the south, you said. What about the neighbors behind this? Like 3792, have you talked to them?
We have not talked to them, no. Because that's this one is not going to be impacted by this addition even.
I will do public comment and I'll respond to that.
All right, I'll open the public hearing for this item. Anyone like to speak on this item? Okay, please step forward, give us your name and address, and give us your comments.
Good evening, my name is Pam Miller. I live at 3792 West Pemberton Road, the house that is directly behind this house. I've lived there for 12 years, and I live there with my husband, my 2 kids, and for the 12 years that we've lived there, we have enjoyed views of Lower Long Lake. We have enjoyed hundreds of sunsets from the deck that is on the back of our house, the gazebo, our backyard. We can see the lake, and we have a very nice view of it, a lot of green space behind us. I can see that view from my deck, from my kitchen, from my bedroom, from my living room, from every aspect of our house. And I have, like, this photo right here, I also submitted comments, but you can see this is the edge of the house right here. This is my house directly behind it, and this is where the proposed garage is going to be. Not only is it gonna go 8 feet into the easement or the setback, but it's also gonna be 32 feet high. So if this addition, this garage addition is put in, it's going to totally block our view, totally take up all that green space that's in there. And so, you know, we're changing out our view that we've had for 12 years of the lake and all this green space so that I can look at a 32-foot garage addition. And I've heard this board talk tonight about, you know, the different standards that are in place in terms of being detrimental to other neighbors, not being self-created, nothing exceptional about the parcel, not being unduly burdensome. All of those standards would apply in my favor here and not in favor of the appeal that's being requested. Not only does it block our view, but, you know, eventually that's gonna also decrease the value of my home. With respect to that outlet that you had talked about before, there's an easement in there, it's a pathway for our, some of our neighbors in the community to walk through and access their lake lot. The whole reason it was granted in the first place was to provide that space. And if you look back at the deed for that, you know, the whole point of it was to maintain a park-like feel and preserve the area. You know, I've watched construction at this location for the past couple of years, and, you know, prior to this homeowner as well, but with this current homeowner, or the current construction that's going on, I've seen, you know, that outlet transform into some parts marshy areas because of all the water runoff that is coming off of that. I've watched them pump water into that area, and it turned it into a marsh. So that outlet is being degraded too. So I don't think that this appeal meets any of the standards. I don't think it meets the intent and purpose of the restrictive zoning ordinances that we're supposed to have in place when it's zoned in this R3 manner. So I request that the appeal to be denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tara Douglas. I live at 3802 Mystic Valley Drive on the other side of the neighborhood. But I'm one of the homeowners that has the HOA rights to the trail. There are 8 houses in our neighborhood. I've lived here 16 years. I've been a Bloomfield resident my whole life. And I stay and I live in this community for the beauty of everything here. And all I see are huge buildings and huge walls and homes that look like offices being built. And it's really scaring me. And I really want to preserve the beauty of this community, and it's slowly being eroded every single day. So I am absolutely not in favor of this appeal.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. I'm Brian Conscious. I live at 3792 West Pemberton, immediately behind the address that we're talking about this evening. My wife eloquently put almost everything that I had shared in an email sent to the board, but just to share again. I mean, the review of this is about practical difficulty. When you show that, when you consider the practical difficulty, you have to see if it observes the spirit of the zoning ordinance, secures public safety, does substantial justice. And that's in part to the surrounding properties. My wife identified that, you know, we've enjoyed a view. Currently, how the house is being constructed without this additional 30-foot garage, you know, that view is still maintained. If this is approved, it will be removed. It will entirely take up the lot that you see here. This house will be built lot to lot. It's not a question, it's a fact. With that, you know, the practical difficulty here is not unreasonably burdensome. Complying with the ordinance would not be unreasonably burdensome. There's no unique circumstance of this property that requires a 30-foot garage and to be built lot to lot. Any difficulty here would be self-created, and gaining a variance would absolutely alter the essential character of the surrounding properties and this area. There are homes that are of this size, but they are north, and they are on 5-acre lots. So I'm going to request.
We're not approving the size of the house, we're just deciding an encroachment for the
I understand.
garage.
I understand, but it's
Okay.
all, I mean, you look at what's being requested, that is what is being requested. And that's what will be
Right, I just-
encroaching.
Just want to remind you, we're only deciding the variance for the garage, not the size of the house itself.
That is
That's,
what,
that's already, that's beyond the scope of our decision.
they're asking for a 30-foot garage
Right.
to be put in to
Yeah.
vary.
Yeah,
I
so-
understand that.
okay.
And I don't think anything I've said is straight from that. I strongly suggest that you deny this. There's nothing here that would identify this board with an ability to follow their rules and approve this.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment? So I'll close the public hearing and then let the applicant respond.
Yeah, I just want to respond to the comments I received, and I understand the comments that been raised, but when I add one thing here, that we don't have any green area that we're gonna use. This is an existing driveway. If you go to the other view, the upper view of the lot, yeah, that's an existing driveway, and we're encroaching into the easement in just one triangle, not the whole area. And this one is in the existing, there's no greenway there. In addition, we're not encroaching into the trailway in any way. This is gonna stay as is. We're not gonna encroaching into it. And we can provide screening if it's required in the remaining area of the setback if that's needed.
Okay, any questions from the board?
I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead. Why is it necessary to have the garage so high?
Just if you look at the architectural elevation, the house is so nice, and it's gonna add value to the area. I'm not sure why the neighbors are saying it's not, but this is a very nice, well-designed house, and having a shallower garage or less height is gonna look a little bit weird with the masses there.
So I agree from an architectural standpoint that it would not look right to have a lower garage. However, this house is already bulky and large from the beginning, and now you're adding a whole nother wing to it, which makes just a wall of a house. So I would probably be opposed to this, being the fact that it is blocking the view from the neighbors and is creating a very mass wall on this property. I don't think there was an intent to have a garage on that side that is that tall when the house was built.
Well, I have maybe a comment and a kind of a question, because you had mentioned earlier when you were presenting that you had the garage already established, and then the homeowner decided that they wanted to take some of the garage space, move it into the living space, which then they wanted to take what they moved and add to the garage. So it was something that was not necessarily a necessity, wasn't a hardship. It was something that maybe they decided they wanted more of that space in the living space, so therefore they're gonna bump the garage out. Is that correct?
No, it's not really. I mean, if you remember, the old house was like raised above the ground. So now, with the new garage inside attached to the house, the proposed plans that we have before, the garage is you need to take steps up, maybe 7 or 8 steps, because of the old basement was higher than the ground. And now with this scenario, neither the garage, the proposed garage, or the house worked perfectly. So when we built the house, they saw that this is gonna look much usable if we have it as a living space, and then the new garage gonna be added to the outside.
But you didn't think of that when you were building the house, or no?
When we created the house before, I mean, it wasn't, because you're gonna see it when you build it. You're gonna see where are the pros and cons there. So when it's get framed, we noticed this issue. So then we started talking about how we're gonna get a better design for it. That's one of the issues there. Plus, we're not encroaching into, this one is gonna be built in the existing driveway. It's not, we're just encroaching a little bit into the setback. So there is no green area, nothing else.
And it's a two-story garage?
No, it's one single story.
It's a single story?
Yeah, it's just high ceiling.
Okay. Oh, that's just all just?
Yeah, it's single
space?
story, yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
So I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Is this a new construction home or is it a remodel?
A new construction home.
So when we do new construction, you can design anything you want, go to lot line, you know all parameters of that lot, correct?
Mhm.
So you and your client work together and then put together, like you said, a beautiful home, big scale, 4-car side entry garage. Because you did a side entry garage, you have to be so many feet from that lot line, correct?
What's the question, sorry?
You did a side entry garage in this home. That is how it's built currently. A 4-car side
yes.
entry garage
Yeah.
with 30-foot interior for a couple of the bays, and then the other bay has some type of living space above it, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So, beautiful scale. And now you and your client are trying to do changes to that, and in so, it is impacting the neighbor, which is the one I asked you about, and you guys said you didn't reach out. That's the most impacted neighbor.
Yeah.
So, when you were building the home and designing it, you had the ability to do anything you want. This is a pretty big, massive change to that new construction home. So the previous home doesn't dictate how you guys built this one, correct?
No.
Okay, because I think that's what you had said that to Jocelyn about how the previous home was
Well,
dictating how some of this.
Yeah, no, you mean the older, not the new design.
Yeah, yeah.
The older house that we demoed, the basement, we kept it. And the basement was above ground slightly. It was
Yeah, it was
about,
like a bi-level home,
yeah,
right?
so that's what created the issues now when the house framed. And we're trying to solve it with the homeowner to come up with a better solution.
I see, so you're tied to that basement, the
Yeah,
basement. You're kind of
exactly.
building-
The
you're
old
building out
basement
from
is
that.
still there, yeah.
But it's a big house. I mean, it's a big house with.
It's beautiful.
With a
great
with a
scale.
garage that's pretty tall.
And the current garage, the 4-car garage, is pretty tall as it is right now. Interior.
Yeah, because because of the existing basement level, so it looks a little bit high. And that's why we have 2 bedrooms above it, I guess, in this one, the original garage. And now with this one, it's gonna be only single story garage. This new one is just single story.
So I'm gonna have to go with my colleague, Scott here. I am not in favor of this plan. I think it has too much, I don't see again, as we talked about, I don't see the practical difficulty. There is injustice to the adjoining neighbors, the unique circumstances of the property. You have an existing basement, you didn't have to keep it, you guys could have started fresh, and this is self-created. So like, I have to find a way to comply with all 4 of these reasons, and I can't find one of these reasons that I can put a motion through. So I do apologize, but I can't support this.
My fellow board members, is it just my neighborhood, or is there any issue with the front-facing garage door? Or is that neighborhood to neighborhood? I mean, they can't have a front-facing garage door, correct? Okay. Yeah.
It's not something we get to do.
That's not something the township dictates, you're right, that's more
Yeah,
of
it's
a
just a
home
neighborhood
HOA.
thing. That's my neighborhood,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and so we do grant variances in the setbacks and stuff, but usually it's an irregular lot. So, kind of as everybody said, you're starting from scratch here. And this really is self-created. So the need to go into the setback is because of the scale of the house and that you're building out from a basement that has caused this need, which is one that you've created.
I have a question. The way it currently is, I mean, how many cars fit into the garage that you have now?
4.
Okay. I agree with these 2 board members. I would have a hard time justifying the additional space, considering you do have a garage and the negative impact to the neighbor.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Unless there's any more discussion from other
Any
board
more
members.
discussion? Okay. I think we're ready.
So in regards to the appeal at 3747 Franklin Road for the dimensional variance for a home addition that will encroach 8 feet in the required 16-foot southerly setback. I move the variance be denied as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did not demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would not be unduly burdensome because it would negatively impact its neighbors, and they have been speaking here tonight. There will be injustice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of currently they still have view of the lake. We continue to try to make sure that our neighbors have a beautiful view of that lake. We have denied other things at this board because it impacts the view of the lake. So in this case, your addition will impact the view of the lake. No unique circumstance of this property have been given, and it is self-created due to the fact that you guys already have a 4-car garage, and this is the change that your client wants to do, and that's why it's self-created.
Support.
So I have motion and support, so discussion. So if we deny this, I want to understand the impact on his ability to modify or, put something in there. So he would be prevented from what?
He would be required to adhere to the 16-foot setback.
Yeah, because that's what we're denying.
Right.
Correct.
So I'm just wondering if, if there's a smaller variance or he comes in with a, something that's not as high or.
That's his right. He could go right to that 16-foot property line and build to his heart's desire. That is his right and his property rights, his ability to do that.
The back of the garage almost hits or probably is right on the setback. The front is not, so he could stagger it if he wanted to. There's a way to do it and make it so you wouldn't have to go to ZBA at all.
But
he couldn't meet the standard for the setbacks.
Right, but I'm saying if he did it and he needed a foot variance, would he be prevented from encroaching into the setback at all by denying this request?
It'd be a new variance, right?
That's actually a very good question.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah, very good, Brian. So the question becomes, what I'm hearing is the board is asking that if this is denied, does that then prohibit this applicant from coming back with a revised request, which may be a lesser encroachment?
Right, so.
I would provide an answer that would say, or my answer is that it would not be a significant enough change to rehear it. There is a standard, if a variance is denied, for the board to reconsider it, it would have to be deemed a significant change. So without seeing what that proposed change is, or if there's a proposed change, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying yes or no of whether or not it'd be considered significant enough.
So again, I'm just brainstorming here. What if it's denied without prejudice?
If it's denied without prejudice, the applicant then does reserve the right to come back to this board with what we would consider a brand-new proposal. That brand-new proposal, there would be obviously an expectation that there would be a significant change in lieu of the comments that have been made this evening. We would hope that the new application, if there was one, would take into account some of the comments that were provided this evening, although I know we can't legally tie the two together.
Right. Because that's all I was thinking is if we did that. Now, again, I'm sorry, did you have a question? I don't normally do this during discussion, but I want to make sure that we're giving you guidance here.
Yeah, I
So-
do.
So you don't want to be as high, and you want to avoid encroaching into that setback at all. But if you have a very small encroachment, you
How-
might consider that.
Yeah, how much is the very small, 2 feet?
Yes. Yeah. So we're trying to help him, build his house. I'm trying to give him options.
Yeah,
Try and do that for everybody.
thank you, appreciate it. So, yeah, what's the margin here, like 2,
Well,
3 feet?
here's the
4
best
feet?
thing is don't encroach into it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, now you're making me think maybe we just deny the whole thing, without it because it's.
We're asking for trouble.
You're asking for trouble. All right, let's just leave it at that then.
Can we table it and we come up with a revised plans?
I'm not willing to table it.
We're gonna
So if
deny-
you can find
We
4
have
of
a
the votes.
motion on the floor.
Yeah,
already.
we're discussing a motion right now,
And
so,
it's-
all right, all right, so I think we've vetted that. I think we're clear on what we're voting on. So all those in favor of the motion as stated, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Your request is denied for the reasons stated.
Thank you.
All right, so calling item 10, 3063 Franklin.
Welcome back.
There we go.
And you're smiling. I love it.
Yeah, it came back like a new person. I almost didn't recognize it.
Okay, 3063 Franklin, this house was built about 6 years ago. And now we building an addition and the pool in the rear side. We came into front of you guys a few months ago about the ZBA for the pool area at the back. And now my client want to add a garage because his existing garage can fit about 3 cars max. You want to add a detached garage to the north side, encroaching about 9 feet, less than 9 feet into the north setback.
Okay, any questions from the board?
After public comment.
Yeah. I'll open this for public comment. Anyone like to comment on this item? So we'll close public comment, bring it back to the board for questions.
So I drove by their site today. Beautiful home. I understand. I want to give you credit on your goal was to try to make it not as deep as possible because you need that 25 foot to get in and out of the garages. So I can tell you guys took time to minimize it as much as it could for how close it is to the property line and how much space you need to have backing in and out. So I did review the plan to notice that. So I applaud you for that. What is the grade difference from the driveway to the north lot line? Because
I think dimensions are there. I mean, can you zoom in a little bit?
the grade difference, because it seems to drop off as the property goes to the north, like 15 or 20 feet. Is that correct?
I think less than that.
So-
That's on the south side, the drop is deep. The north side is less.
Okay.
The south side is very deep, yeah.
The south side with the addition, I got to
Yeah,
see that.
yeah.
I did take pictures for myself so I can understand it. From your lot line to the lot line to the north, you guys have a retaining wall there that had to
Yes.
be removed.
Yeah.
Again, it is pretty significant. So are you planning on building that up, filling it in, or putting a retaining wall? How are you gonna hold back this structure?
We're gonna put a retaining wall.
So then there's a retaining wall within how many feet? Which again, will require another dimensional variance, because it's gonna be within 16 feet of the property line. And then we've had another case on this where there was such a high building close to the property line that adequate screening needed to be installed. I think our case has gone over this. So I'm having a couple issues with this because the way your layout is, your northern property line happens to be the backyard of your neighbor. So they would be able to see from 8 feet or 7 feet from their property line, a 25-foot wall of brick.
We do have a letter from this neighbor specifically, approval letter.
I saw other neighbors, I didn't see that neighbor.
No, the north side neighbor, we have a letter from him.
Okay, I'm gonna look, I looked at some of them and I checked the neighbors that were. The Hickory Grove one that I saw was on the northwest side.
Yeah, and this corner of Hickory Grove and Franklin, he gave us a letter yesterday.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Come on up.
thank you. Omar Al-Jabari, I'm the owner of 3063. Yeah, the neighbor just to the north of me, Dr. Peter Chen. One of the letters is from him, and he's the one that his house is, the directly north where the garage would go. He's fine with it. He supports it. We're building the addition, and we got kids who are going to be unfortunately driving soon. So we need some more space for cars. Even though we have a 4-car garage now, it really fits like 2, maybe 3 with all the bikes and all that stuff that's that are in there.
I want to interrupt you because
Yeah.
I want to understand this. So I see a Hickory Grove address, which is 2975,
Yeah.
which, maybe my map is wrong. It shows the northwest corner property.
Yeah, I'm talking about the other letter is 3017.
Franklin
3017 Franklin is the.
is the northern property.
Is the north property.
Okay, so he doesn't have a Hickory Grove address. That's an interesting, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're correct. I would have thought that would have been a Hickory Grove based on how the house is situated, but. that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's Franklin. So yeah, so basically I got, a letter from that neighbor who would be, the garage would be right, against his property. And then the other neighbor that potentially could see it, I guess. And they're both, supportive and had no objections and signed on it.
I appreciate you getting that letter because that impacts it. Again, we had much deliberation about another building that had a significant elevation change and a lot of brick, right? So again, because of your elevation change, whether you're gonna put a retaining wall, which is a separate variance and a separate request, or you're just going to build the foundation all the way down and build it up and fill it in, which is your right. But then that means that's brick that they're gonna see for approximately 25 or 30 feet. That's a lot, 8 feet from the property line. Again, I'm a garage guy. I understand what you're doing here. I promise. I also read the plan. I can tell you did everything you could to minimize it. I truly do. I'm just having trouble with that stuff. I'll see what my other board members think. Scott?
I would agree with that. It's the same as the other case where you can't plant tall enough vegetation behind it to block that tall brick wall. In this scenario, it appears that it doesn't necessarily match the architecture of the house because they're trying to keep the roof line below 14 feet, probably. It just looks forced, and it looks like it's going to impact the neighbor to me quite a bit.
And again, he can't put it at the end of the driveway because that's where it's such a grade go off and then that like,
Yeah.
I did stop by your house and walk on it. It's part of the ZBA, I'm allowed to do that, but I did do it so I could see what you guys were working with and how you're trying to work around these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the way the neighbor's house, is set, you can kind of see it's on an angle. So
Yeah.
it's not really, it's kind of like his side, so it's not the front and it's not the back. Like if he's looking.
It just
at the
makes it
back-
close because of that.
What's that?
It makes your encroachment close because he's close, because it's like kind of like side and side. So it makes it a lot closer than in some other instances.
Yeah,
So,
but he doesn't, he's not gonna like wake up and look at it, cause it's the side of the house. It's kinda on his side of the house, not the front or the back. Cause his house is built on an angle versus my house. So his, the front, he's looking at, the intersection of Hickory Grove and Franklin, that's his front. The back is actually looking at my pool. He's got a better view of my pool than I do, and he likes that. But yeah, where the garage is kind of like the side of his house where he's really, like, he's got two windows there.
And then just open discussion, it's only what, 23 feet deep, or 20, how deep is the garage? It's
23 feet.
23 feet, so even if you try to shrink it, then you can't, then it's unusable. So like, to their credit, they made it the minimum depth you need, and then there's only 25 feet from the front of that garage to the front of the other garage, which is the minimum you need to be able to turn those vehicles around. So like, I can appreciate you guys did everything you could to fit in that space.
Well,
Yeah, because we really, like, honestly, with the existing garage, I mean, we're already kind of maxed out, and we got.
Yeah,
three
cars are
kids.
bigger, you have more drivers,
Yeah.
Garages are a growing thing here. We see a lot of people that want bigger garages.
Yeah. And even my neighbor's got like 8 garages, Dr. Chen, he's got 4 garages.
He's a garage guy, so that's why he's okay.
I
So he
understand.
totally understood when I was like, yeah, absolutely.
I understand the need for more garage space, definitely, even just for storage, not even for cars, but I guess I'm kind of with Scott, and I was surprised, but I was thinking of the architectural, it doesn't appear to go with the architectural design of the home, and it just to me, looks very odd, and I know that is something that we do consider in terms of, is it harmonious, and, how does it look, and it just, looks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an engineer, so I totally understand. I'm trying to strike a balance between, you know, architectural design and practicality. I mean, I got a big family and I'm not sure, you know, yeah, I have a big house and stuff, but, you know, practically, I'm really short of, you know.
I understand that.
And I don't know where to.
There's no place,
Where else to build it.
nowhere else, yeah, where else would
There's
you put
nowhere
it?
else to, yeah, I understand the need. I mean, you can't put a car
Yeah.
inside the house even, just because the house is large, but, you know, I understand the need. I guess that's just my only
You can't
concern
have
is that.
can't have a long, narrow garage either.
And I guess it's probably just because of the height of it, it's a lot, but-
Right.
Well, for the height also, we have to stay below 14.
Yep.
So that's why, that's one
Without
of the
getting a
ordinance, yeah.
variance, but, yeah.
Looking at your plans, you have proposed trees. What trees did you contemplate when you submitted the plans?
Yeah, evergreen, and we had, in our previous variance, the entire lot will be green belt around it when we did the pool permit before.
Because even if you open the door here and put it in, and still the minimum.
Yeah, it's a big,
No, they can't.
with the,
That's not what they said.
I mean, it's,
Can we get a calculation of what the proposed garage is, and then your existing garage, and then the square footage of your house?
Yeah, I think I gave it to.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that we ran those numbers. Okay, thank you.
I sent those, yeah.
Thank you.
And they just put the big addition on it.
Okay, I
So
just want to make
imagine-
sure that we didn't
yeah,
run
there's
into
a-
any, okay, thank
You
you.
put in a
Just-
very nice addition, because I was also like, can we move the garage over, like, and then I saw you already doing that, so.
That was that's where we thought first, like, let's put it by addition. And you mentioned the huge drop. And then,
Correct.
Yeah, there's no way it would fit there. But yeah, the addition is about 3,000 square feet, 1,500
Oh, so
each
plenty.
floor, and then another 1,500 for the basement.
So how far do you think this drops at the side property line? From the from the new proposed garage to the property line, how many feet would it drop?
Probably 8 or 9, I think, to the limit of the, where we ending the garage.
So
And
this-
also for the area, just in case if Tom couldn't
Yeah.
find it, I think with the addition, it's about 9,200 square feet house. The garages, the new one is about 1,250, and the old garage about 800. So we're talking about 2,000 something.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The reason she's asking is to make sure that we're not
Yeah,
exceeding,
with the- yeah.
so that we don't have
Thanks.
to notice for another one, right? So,
Correct.
trying to make sure whatever we do here. Again, Scott, I think it's a little more than 8 feet from when I looked. Again, I didn't,
So those
again,
are tall trees, one on the side.
tall trees and then a lot of fill, like, there's gonna be, again, he's a good builder, they'll be able to engineer it, but then he only has like 6 or 7 feet to put whatever type of evergreen screening that we may require. Is that even enough to put those, right?
yeah, something that's tall enough to really screen, it's not gonna totally screen it, so it would soften it but not screen it.
But if
I'm
we're,
willing to put whatever, like pine trees or whatever you guys want.
Yeah, I'm torn by this, cause there's a need for the space, he's done everything he could to make it work on the
he really has, so.
spot. The neighbor is kind of at a different angle, so there are some mitigating factors. It is tough, because there's also that,
And to
it's
his
a lot of
credit,
brick. or
It's a lot of brick. His neighbor did say yes. He made it the least deep he needed to. He didn't want to go over 14 feet, so then he didn't have to go for another variance, which he could have. Right, like, so, in the attempt of the good spirit, he did try to meet all these other spirits of the ordinance, so like,
And he's
I'm
offered,
giving you kudos, so I hope you understand this.
and he's offered to screen it as much as we could, so
There's definitely some
I
practical
guess we could,
difficulty here.
I'd be in favor of it if it was screened, if he softens it with as much.
So I'm also, if I'm even gonna consider this, we'll have to have engineering plans, and a
Well, he's
civil
an
engineer.
engineer, he's right here. He's
Well,
right
I would need a
here.
civil engineering plan, because I believe it, is this an accessory structure? Is this considered accessory? Or is it attached? If
It's
attached-
considered detached, it's not a meaningful attachment, which is the interpretation in our ordinance.
So then technically, our ordinance doesn't require civil engineering to do this.
that's something that we can require if you feel it's significant enough. We can carry that through with the motion as part of the permit requirement.
Because again, if we're this close to the property line, we already have some grade issues, which I know you would be able to take care of, but
Sure.
it would then continue with the spirit of making sure it minimally impacts our neighbor, right? Like,
Absolutely.
be good neighbors, so.
Well, I think make the motion with the conditions you feel are appropriate.
I'm still torn.
Are you? Is there anyone else that's not torn that is eligible to make the motion with help from Chris, with conditions that he would add?
What do you think, Scott?
I mean, or if you guys are torn, I mean, I'm just one person, so.
No, again, I understand the need, I understand he's got to substantially,
I don't want to say I'm on the fence because we've had too many fences. I just
as
want
long
to
as
say
you
that I'm
screen
torn.
it, you can be on that fence, right?
I'm
No.
torn.
So he has a house of scale, right, and a 3 or 4 car garage at that house. It is a limiting factor, I can appreciate that. And then, his lot, it does have some grade issues, so trying to put it in these other areas that would have less variances required would
Yeah,
still.
he's got a practical difficulty there
He's
with
got
the
a
grade.
practical difficulty. I just, fine.
Honestly, I mean, I just don't know where else to put the garage.
That's why
Any other.
anytime, that's why we try to walk it or some of, take pictures, so we can understand it, so when you come here, I have eyes on it, so I can appreciate everything you're saying, and it's true. So, I'm not gonna dispute any of that with you. All right. You can't scale it.
And it's not obstructing any of the neighbors' views or.
So, one of my colleagues said, what about putting a forward-facing garage or a rear-facing garage? It'd be the same issue because it's only 23 feet wide, which would then still allow him 2 cars deep. So if we even shrunk it to 2 feet, it would be a very narrow
Yeah.
So like.
That's why I said that earlier.
So again, as myself and Scott would know, like, it doesn't make it, it then wouldn't, not only the expense, but it wouldn't make it even usable for what he's trying to do. So, and I can appreciate that. All right. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you. I can't wait to hear it.
There's gonna be a few conditions.
Okay.
So we're gonna get through this together. So we're gonna start with the permission request. In regards to the appeal at 3063 Franklin Road for the accessory structure, I move the request be moved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate in the neighborhood. As you have stated, other neighbors have accessory structures of garages, and based on the scale of your home, you could utilize a garage of this size. Second, for the dimensional variance, same address, for the setback requirement, for the 9-foot required for the northerly setback, I move the variance be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict lighting ordinance would be unduly burdensome because there is no other place based on topography to put this garage. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbor by the reason of, not only do they give permission for the neighbor that's being most impacted to it, we're gonna talk about how we're gonna screen this in order to minimize that impact and soften it to the neighbors. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated, given the fact that, again, we have topography changes and truly just area that is limited in your area, which I can attest to. This is not self-created because, again, the lot has topography changes and challenges. So, the conditions that are gonna be amended. It will require a topo and a civil engineering plan to mitigate all water from your property, to make sure it does not go to the other side. You will be required to plant minimum of, at time of planting. So this is the tough one because I don't know the height. So when we did it for the previous person, we made them basically cover the first floor or the
Right.
wall.
Right.
So I'm gonna say 15-foot or greater evergreen style plantings at time of planting. If that isn't enough to get to the first floor of that garage, you will plant to whatever planting it needs to be so that the first floor of that garage, the grade level, will be covered. Do we understand?
Yep.
Perfect. And then this is not approval if you have to do a different retaining wall, by the way. So if you have to do a retaining wall associated with it, you have to come back to ZBA for something different. So this is only giving you permission to build it up to that. And if you go straight down with your foundation, then you have to soften it with the 15-foot.
Absolutely.
Minimum 15-foot. The greater of 15-foot or the greater your driveway. If this motion is approved, all application for necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. A single-family affidavit is required to be submitted to the township, and then, there is no basement associated with this, right?
No.
And then all those evergreen screenings that I've talked about shall be planted and are required for it.
Support.
So I motion and support. Do we have all that in the minutes?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you guys understand what we're getting at?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
civil engineering, topo,
Yeah.
and I need a minimum of 15-foot evergreen-style plantings along your northern property. And then,
Minimum to the grade of the garage.
Right.
to the grade of your driveway. So your driveway basically is your grade line, to that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you for that motion. That was well done and product of a lot of thought. So we have a motion and support, and we have the motion captured in fine detail in the minutes. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your
Thank you.
request is
Thank
modified,
you.
it's granted. Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So calling item 11, 351 Marlborough.
I just want to make a comment before this item's heard that our department is well aware of the adjacent property owners' issues, that you see a lot of conversation in the correspondence regarding the vacant house that's next door, that is being ticketed and managed by our ordinance division, that there was some work that was done on that house that's been vacated for quite a while. We're trying to get compliance and get updated permits for the work that's been done. So I just want to clarify that it is on our radar. We have been dealing with it. So I just want to make that point of clarification because there's a lot of conversation about that house in correspondence related to this fence request. So I just wanted to answer that.
I'm really glad you said that. You took out half of what I was going to say. Good evening. My name is Sasha. This is my husband, Glenn. We are requesting an approval of a 2-foot dimensional variance to allow our existing 4-foot fence to be increased to a 6-foot fence in height along one side boundary of the property. And that is the side that is facing 369 Marlborough, the abandoned house. My drawing kind of sucks, but I take pride in it. So it's the right side of it if you're looking at it from my point of view. This request is based on practical difficulties arising from the unique and longstanding external conditions affecting the adjoining property at 369 Marlborough Drive. This is not self-created hardship or desire for any excessive structure. The neighboring property has remained vacant and is in visible disrepair for over 10 years. During the March 23rd, 2026 Bloomfield Township comment meeting, multiple residents publicly described ongoing concerns regarding the property and also quoted our letter to the HOA board, including prolonged vacancy, excessive vegetation growth, debris accumulation, rodent activity, which, if I may say right now I have gophers, so that's great. Repeated maintenance issues and suspicious or unauthorized activity occurring near neighboring homes. More importantly, the neighbors who did speak on this were all on the HOA board. They all approve of this. They have not said no. The neighbor, Mr. Brown, has also not said no. I have 2 other letters of support from our next door neighbors saying that they also approve of us having a fence for this. Jim Tassin stated that the neighbor at 514 Marlborough, which is me, is right next door to him. 351, sorry, I'm apparently dyslexic. Marlborough is right next door to him. He's forced to incur a cost of installing a privacy fence, attempting to remedy the issue of looking at the eyesore, and that they have even incurred professional costs due to his trees falling on their home and fence. We have spent a couple $1,000s on having to remove his trees, or we have had to hire tree removal companies to cut off the branches of his dead trees. I have multiple text messages between he and I where I'm like, hey, your trees are damaging our fence. Like, he's broken our 4-foot fence probably about 3 times now. And I've had to replace the fence. I haven't done anything about it. I've kind of just left it alone. Deb Nash then further, who's also on our HOA board, said that she agreed with everything that Tim Tassin had said. And then more importantly, Patricia Terratuta confirmed with her statement that safety concerns that we have for our young children, stating, quote, she actually saw coming out of the back of the house 2 younger guys, about 15, 16 years old, and an older gentleman coming out of the back, and there wasn't even a car parked.
end quote. And she said that the house is getting creepier and creepier. Over
So-
last
so,
summer,
I think I just need to understand why you want a 6-foot fence and why you want it on the property line.
so this happened last summer. He has a lot of construction people coming in and out.
So when you say he, you're talking about the next door
The
neighbor?
owner, yeah, his name is Mr. Brown. I apologize.
So I get that, but I want to know why you want, is it to block the neighbor? Is that what you're saying?
So last summer.
Why do you want a 6-foot fence?
I'm trying to say it. So last summer, he has a lot of construction people that come in and out. They are not identified. There's no trucks identifying it as like a plumber or a builder or whatever. And there are random individuals coming in and out of this house. One time, a gentleman had decided to come up to my fence and start hooting and hollering at my 13-year-old, to which my husband had to sit there and remove him.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you want like protection from your neighbor?
I do.
Okay, so that's, I just need, so that, all those facts are saying that you're kind of afraid of your neighbor and you'd like something that's as big as possible to separate you from him, because of all
Yes,
the, okay.
he's not removing any of the, I've told
Okay.
him many of times of the people that come over, and it's
Okay.
now, my kids can't even go in the backyard.
So I think you've heard, typically we need screening for the fence, so is there a screening plan? How would you screen it if it's on the property line?
As much as I would like to agree with screening, because of the state of disrepair of the home and the constant construction, whatever I
So
put up
again,
is
you're
going to
talking
get
about the
destroyed.
neighbor, you're talking about the neighbor?
Yes, it's
Okay.
going to get destroyed on his side. So if I do all of that, which again, I don't really have an objection to, but I'm gonna be replacing it and replacing it and replacing it. It's been vacant for 10 years. There's nothing but damage over there. He's got multiple equipment coming in and out. You're gonna have me in civil court because he's gonna destroy all my trees. And I'm gonna want him to repay me back for it, and he's not gonna do it.
Okay, so just so I understand, you don't plan to have any screening because of you feel there's destructive tendencies in your neighbor and he'd destroy any screening?
Yeah,
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the board?
Is there an existing fence there now?
there is. It's a 4-foot fence. Yep,
So you already have a 4-foot fence there
yep,
that is on the property line, that is not screened.
correct.
So you were asking to replace it with a 6-foot fence?
Yes,
Not screened?
correct.
Okay. Again, and the red line is all the new fence?
No. So, it's just,
Just the right-hand side.
it's just the right-hand side. I have a 4-foot fence around my entire backyard, but it's just that side right by the chicken. Yes, my children thought it was great. They said, "Mom, you said you wanted chickens, but you can't have chickens," and they bought me a 6-foot chicken for my birthday. So that's Jeff.
So behind the chicken is your 4-foot existing fence?
Yes.
And you're asking for a 6-foot fence on the same area?
Yes.
Same construction?
Is it the same style or is it a
No, I'm
privacy?
gonna have it closed off because not.
The dogwood, dog ear.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, privacy fence.
Because we have rodents coming in and out of there too. He had a dead skunk there for like 3 months last year. He had a gopher problem. We told him about it. Now the gophers are in my yard. So that's cool.
So you're looking to put up a 6-foot privacy fence on that one side?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? So I'd like to open this up to a public hearing. Does anyone like to comment on this? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
So with regard to the appeal for the dimensional variance request at 351 Marlborough Drive, I move, hang on here. With regard to the appeal at 351 Marlborough Drive for the dimensional variance request for a dog containment fence that exceeds 4 feet and encroaches 16 feet into the 16-foot easterly and westerly side yard setbacks and essentially replaces one side of the fence that she currently has. I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the situation with the unmaintained home next door. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by reason that the fence is essentially already there. She's just going up to achieve some privacy standards. The unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated given the things that we've discussed here tonight, and that is not self-created. So, if approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. We typically do require additional evergreen plantings to screen this fence from public view, yet I'm not going to require that today based upon the skepticism that they will be not maintained, but just because of the situation.
Support.
Can I throw?
Yeah,
I
motion
have-
support, so you have discussion, or do you want?
I have one. Is this a dog containment fence as well?
I don't really know if you call it that, because it has nothing to do with my dog. I've had the fence since I
Well,
bought the
Well, but
house.
there's
Do you
a
have a
you
dog?
I do have a dog, yep.
Yeah.
You do have a dog. How big is your dog?
Which one?
Perfect. So you do have a dog, so in the spirit of it, to make
Dogs.
sure that that dog doesn't go to the neighbors or go in these other areas, having something that they can't see through would also be helpful, so your dog isn't barking at these contractors that are coming in or wanting to
okay,
jump over that
yeah.
yard, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Won't be chasing the rodents either.
So again, I just want to confirm I did step out. The only part of the fence you're replacing is this fence, correct?
Correct, just the one
So-
side.
So no other fence is being done?
No.
Nothing's getting.
It's an existing fence, and you're replacing that one side with a fence that's 6 feet tall.
Correct.
Privacy.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
That's
I-
what I included in the motion.
Okay. And I supported it, so we're good.
Thank
Well,
you.
And I found out from the staff that anytime a fence is requested, and we learned that there's a dog at the home, regardless of what the homeowner says, it's considered a dog containment fence. So that's just by the fact that you have a dog, it's considered a dog. And I would just say, she can't screen it because it's on the property line.
She can't.
So, all right, so any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
Calling item 12-4680 Pickering.
Hello, my name is Mandy Garver, and I am the property owner. I'm requesting to put a 16-foot by 12-foot by 8-foot high pergola on my property. The variance here is that I'm requesting that it go in the side yard as opposed to the backyard. My house is built in a valley, and the backyard is at such an incline that really it is unusable for anything except ground covering it. And the side yard is really the yard that is available for use. And so that's the reason why I have planted arborvitae and will ensure that there's screening all around so that it is not visible from the road. Any questions?
That was well done. Al opens to public. Anyone would like to comment? Close the public hearing, bring it back.
It does appear that she has HOA approval, just to state that.
Okay.
Well, if there's no questions, I'll make a motion.
Yep, I
Are
think
we
that's
ready?
good.
Okay. I'll start with the permission request first. In regards to the appeal at 4680 Pickering Road for the accessory structure of a pergola, I move that the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards. Because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate for the neighborhood, pergolas are very popular. In terms of the dimensional variance at the same location, I also move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty. Because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because of the unique shape of her lot. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors because, for one, the pergola is very hard to see, but also she has agreed to screen. The unique circumstances of the property, again, is the slope and topography in the back, and so the side of the home is probably the most appropriate, and because of that, it's not self-created. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings will be required to screen the pergola from view and must meet or exceed the height of the pergola at the time of planting.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
So calling item 13-1085 Northover.
Yes, so my name is Ricardo Munoz. I live at 1085 Northover Drive. And I do just want to say, I haven't recited the Pledge of Allegiance probably since elementary school, so that was actually kind of a neat thing. But I'm here today because for Christmas, I bought my wife a greenhouse from Costco. It's the one you see when you walk in from the side. And I'm new to the area, moved here a little bit under 2 years ago. And so my wife loves gardening. She wanted to have the greenhouse. I wanted to do it right. I just wanted to come in front of the board. I wanted to be able to share the dimensions. I wanted to be able to show the color of it. I wanted to be able to answer the questions and then also explain about the greening. And then my neighbors behind me, Steve, he's like, Ricardo, I support you. Jeff on this side, as we'll get to it, he supports me. I have fences that are already there, but I really just wanted to be able to answer the questions that I need to do to give my wife the greenhouse, but I'll go from there.
Which Costco did you buy this greenhouse from?
The one on Telegraph.
Okay, we have some representatives of that Costco here with us this
That is
evening.
the Costco that we go to.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't be embarrassed to tell you how much money I spent at Costco.
That's a great place.
Yes.
All right, any other questions from the board?
No, Mr. Chairman, I just want to let you know, I do know their family. I think I can be impartial judgment of this, but I just want to make it the record that I
Sure.
do know that family.
Yeah, I do know.
Don't think it's too controversial, so I'll open this to the public. Anyone that would like to comment on the request or the quality of the greenhouse from Costco, from any of the Costco people? Okay, we'll close the public hearing.
Mr. Chair, can I make a motion?
Sure.
In regard to the appeal at 1085 Northover Road, for the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as as many other properties have the same sort of building. Location of this accessory structure will not hinder or discourage adjacent use of property due to the fact that it's way in the backyard. It can be, there's plenty of room to screen around it, and won't be visible by the neighbors. If approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And additional evergreen plantings shall be required to screen the greenhouse from public view. It must meet or exceed the height of the structure at time of planting from all properties that can visibly see this greenhouse.
Yes.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
And I just want to thank you on behalf of the Planning, Building, and Ordinance Department for reaching out to the township to find out what the appropriate avenue was to get this approved, so thank you.
So you would get the second award tonight. So we had the first award was for the fellow who withdrew his request, and so you get the second. So congratulations.
I'll tell my wife.
Okay. So calling item 14-4525 Charing Cross.
Hello, TJ Arini here with Silva Custom Design, representing my client Brian Mayurana, 4525 Charing Cross. Request for permission to build a 28-foot by 40-foot by 16-foot high pool house. The pool house is meeting all setbacks from the property line. The property is pretty vast property. It's very highly wooded. Views from all adjacent northern view from the front of the home, from the north, from the south, east, and west. It's extremely screened as is, with very minimal impact on neighbors and sightlines.
Because what's the property, what's 4511? Is that a vacant lot?
Nope, there's a home on that lot.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yep, and you can see, based on this aerial shot, the amount of woods and greenery that is there. Views would be extremely minimal, and if they see the pool house, it's going to fit the nature and character of the existing home, brick, pitched roof. You might not even be able to tell it's there.
Okay.
So where in the property is it located again?
On the northern edge. And we are, sorry, the image is loading.
How many feet from the property line?
That's what I'm checking right now.
But it's within the setbacks.
Yes, 93 feet 6 inches from the
Thank you very
north.
much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Any other questions from the board? So opens to the public for comment? Want to comment? I'll close the public hearing then, bring it back for,
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
okay.
With regard to the permission request for, hang on here. With regard to the permission request for a pool house at 4525 Charing Cross Road, I move that the request be approved and submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, and it makes very good sense that it's placed where it is. Additionally, I also move that the dimensional variance request for a pool house exceeding the 14-foot height limit and accessory space exceeding 50% of the ground floor area of the house by 640 feet. I move that that variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the fact that this pool house is reasonably sized and makes sense that it's the location is where it is. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by reason that it is significantly off of the property lines and tucked behind the home. Unique circumstances with this property have been demonstrated that there is certainly enough room for it, and that is not self-created. So if this motion is approved, it must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. Additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen the pool house from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structure at the time of planting. And I'm also going to request a single-family affidavit is required to be submitted to the township.
Support.
So I have motion support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, the request is granted.
Thank you.
So calling item 15, 3570 Berkshire.
Hi, Kim Viviano from 3570 Berkshire. I'm just here for a variance to put a fence in, but I didn't realize that because I am on another street, I'm on a corner, I would need, okay, thank you. I would need a variance.
And you also own a dog.
She's deceased.
Oh, your dog is deceased, so it's not a dog containment fence.
No, she's
Okay.
deceased.
All right, any other questions? Open
Yeah,
this-
I do have a question.
Okay.
If it's not a dog enclosure, do we,
You know, this has been back and forth with our ordinance division regarding the dog. In my understanding, this is the first I've heard, if that's what she's stating, I think our ordinance officers did observe a dog on the site.
They did.
Okay.
And she recently was deceased.
Okay.
In February, when I did all this.
and again, I appreciate your honesty, it's making sure that we follow the letter,
Oh,
so it
no,
doesn't come back.
absolutely.
So is the intent to get another dog?
Yes, I'll be honest with you. It is, but not right now. It's fresh.
So I guess, so if there's a stated intent, then I guess it's still a dog enclosure fence. Okay. Any other questions? Open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this? So you'll have to let him speak.
I'm Mike Smith, and I live...
Can you go to the microphone, please?
Yeah.
Can you go to the microphone, please?
Okay. Mike Smith, and I live at 3571 Berkshire, right across the street from her residence. I am a member of the Westchester Village Architectural Control Committee, along with 12 other people. We did not even realize that she wanted to put in a fence until we got the communication from the township saying that this meeting was being held. We had, with that communication, that letter, the name was there, but there was no phone number to contact her. But the co-chairman of our Architectural Control Committee has made several attempts to reach her by phone and email. We did eventually get a phone number. And so he has made several attempts to try and reach her by phone and email. However, for some reason, she has never responded back to us. He tried to explain to her that we needed this information so that we could review this project for her on her behalf. And even though we tried to tell her that we needed the information for that reason, she never returned any communication to us. I did eventually come up here to the township and went downstairs and looked at the application that she submitted and along with the site plan. So I was able to, myself, to see it from downstairs. But she never did make any attempt to reach us to tell us what her plan was or anything like that, so that we could make a decision as a group. So I don't know what to tell you, as far as the homeowners association was concerned. It's not that we were necessarily opposed to it, but we just didn't know anything about it and weren't able to get any information from the client, even though we made, like I said, multiple attempts to reach her.
I have never received a
So hold on,
phone call.
so you could have a chance to respond. He talks to us, and then you talk to us. So. All right, so is that all you just want to let us know, is that the homeowners association hasn't reviewed it and really doesn't have they've made it, there's no official position on it?
Well, all I will say is that I did come up here, and my neighbor came up here and looked at the plans. And she wasn't able to come tonight because she has an ill husband. But I have been in communication with her. And also the chairman of the Architectural Control Committee, I've been in touch with. And we really don't have any objection, I must admit, to the plan. It's just that we never got anything from the homeowner about what she wanted to do. Okay. So.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
for your feedback. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? So I'll,
My name's Matt Spar. We're proposing to do the fence for her, Defense Enterprises.
okay, well, she's
Oh, go ahead.
spoken. So, hold on, we have a public hearing that's still open. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this? All right, so I'll close the public hearing, and then do you want to respond to the comments?
Yes, I have never received a phone call. I have never received an email. I didn't even know there was an HOA board. I paid $100 that was sent to me to pay. I didn't know something coexisted this way. I didn't even know there was a board. And I swear nobody has contacted me. Nobody's come to my door, nothing. And he lives right across the street from me.
Okay, is there any screening?
I'm happy to put screening up. I'm happy to. I would love some privacy there.
Go ahead.
So, a couple things I noticed is in your dog enclosure, you're actually not going all the way to the property lines in the southern portion of it. You're actually keeping it pretty minimal to that northwest corner.
Yeah, I'm not
And in
trying to
this-
take a huge area.
And then in this subdivision, there are some existing fences that do go to the property lines that are not necessarily screened. So other areas in Westchester's do have fences. So again, while she is putting some in her easterly side as well as her southern side, it isn't going as far to the property lines as some of our requests have been, which seems like she's taking to the minimalistic portion of the fence that she's asking for. I would want, obviously, screening as much as we can on the areas that
I
are
have a
not along the property
landscaping
line.
plan, everything.
So, but based on that, I think this is a reasonable plan based on the intent of a dog enclosure, as well as it isn't going to every property line that she has, right? Like, she actually is trying to contain it less than some of our other neighbors.
I agree.
Sounds like we're ready for a motion.
If nobody else has any discussion. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. In regards to the appeal at 3570 Berkshire Drive, I'll go with the permission request. I move the request be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as many other neighbors have a dog enclosure fence of 4 feet and lower and have it in their backyard. Secondly, for the dimensional variance, in regards to the same, the appeal at the same address, I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate standards for all practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because there wouldn't be enough area to contain it, and she has 2 frontages. There is no justice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of several neighbors, especially the ones to the north, already have a fence that she's just linking up to, and then she's gonna be screening it from the other neighbors to minimize that impact. The unique circumstance of this property has been demonstrated, given the fact that, again, she is a corner lot. This is not self-created because, again, the lot is a corner lot. The only conditions I'm gonna have are that we are gonna be screening the southern portion and the eastern portion, which I believe your screening plan had, but we're gonna do it, except for that gate, because I know we can't screen that gate.
Right.
But we're gonna be screening to the height of the fence at time of planting, and again, fully screened. So not like it's gonna grow into it.
No.
So, if this motion is approved, all application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to the installation. And I talked about the additional evergreen screenings and the screenings I want.
Sure.
Support? I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your
Thank you.
request is granted.
Thank you.
Calling item 15, 35, 16. 2688 Indian Mound.
Hello, Board. Don't worry, it's not another fence today. My name is Jacob Mansour from Tri Construction Landscaping, representing a very special client, Clint Mansour, right here, and his family. You've seen me here a couple times, but as we make such a large investment into our home and community and neighborhood, we got to make sure we get it right. So today we're seeking permission and dimensional request. The permission request is for a golf simulator within the property lines. It's within both the rear and side yard setback. And then we have a dimensional request for a proposed addition on the west side. It's actually encroaching about 2 feet into that 16-yard side yard setback. The person who that's directly affecting, our west side neighbor, we have a letter from them in full support, and they like what we're doing. They've seen our renderings. They've seen how we're going to soften it with our landscape plan. It's really going to go inside of the neighborhood, clad in the same material the house is cladded in, same roof. It will look very well and like it was meant to be there and not something after the fact. And then we have this lovely, what they call a golf shed. We had another shed today. And I think that's about 12 foot high. It says 24 foot. That just has an extended patio. It's really 12 by 20, but that patio comes there. You buy it as a unit like that. It is not a controlled environment. It's not going to have a unit outside. I know there was some confusion about that. And we've spoken to the HOA about both of them at length. I've talked to Kathy, the president of the village. She was okay with everything. And if you zoom into that, Tom, and you see the front of where that golf simulator is, so that faces our pool. And the only lights or windows come from the front. And, you know, we are conscientious of the neighbors. When we were doing this addition on the side yard, we actually decided, hey, you know, let's spend the extra money. Let's enclose our pool equipment so it's not seen by anyone, heard by anyone. It's going to be fully sprayed insulated with cellulose too, so the noise is going to be stopped there. And, you know, I'm sure this will make Chris happy. The entire property line, all sides of the rear yard will be screened with evergreen plants. They'll be taller than all structures at time of planting, and they will be touching each other at time of planting to form a wall. You will not be able to see anything inside of our property. And
So is that picture in the lower right then incorrect then? Because it looks like the plantings stop.
yeah, that was just a screenshot of the golf simulator. Yeah, that is incorrect. I actually currently have a permit open for the pool and a sport court, which we got in 2025. And that sport court will be in lieu of this golf simulator. It's bigger than that golf simulator. That golf simulator is going to take the spot of that sport court. So we're axing that. We're going to put this golf simulator in, go with a moratorium. We're good. And yeah, so every inch is going to be screened.
I'd just like to make a statement, this isn't part of the village. This is a section.
Oh, I
that's close to
misspoke
it,
then.
but it's
I'm
not
sorry.
part of the village.
Yeah.
We would have had some sort of review.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I misspoke. HOA president.
And
I
on
don't
the other,
think there is an HOA there.
Red Oaks of Bloomfield?
Is there an HOA? Okay.
so it looked like,
No HOA on file.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's no
Kathy's
HOA.
part of it. I just spoke to Kathy for about an hour. I told her my whole plan.
But she doesn't govern that.
Yeah, maybe I
It
didn't
doesn't
have to. There is no
govern-
HOA.
It's
I
not
just
part of the village, so.
My
That's why she was
apologies.
okay with it.
Yeah.
She liked it. She's like, man, I
she
think.
thought it
It
was
wouldn't
interesting
fly in
even
the
though she
village.
had no official opinion.
Yeah. I
So-
didn't know that at the time.
And the picture, does the golf simulator have lights in it?
Yes, sir, it does.
So does that mean there'd be hitting during dark? So you want to, practice during the winter and?
Yeah, it does. Probably not during the winter as we don't have a heated environment. We're going to shut it off and winterize it. And if you see it, that front where the lights are faces our pool. It's not facing any of those neighbors where it is closest to.
So another question. So is a golf simulator like a, hockey rink and a basketball court where we would not, allow it to be used after dark?
I think that would be a condition that the board would want to consider. This is a unique,
Yeah.
to say it's treated
Our
the same
first
as other,
simulator, I think,
yeah.
first golf simulator.
I guess I would defer to the board in regards to that after maybe hearing public comment. And then also if the applicant wants to address the lighting as it relates to the landscape plan, that might be another.
We would be happy to turn those soffit lights off outside after dark if that would be deemed appropriate by the board.
But the other thing is the image on the screen itself would be quite bright during.
It's facing
dark.
in though, right?
Yeah, it's facing in. We did that purposefully.
Okay.
And it's going to be blocked by 12-foot evergreen trees, like literally the entire property line.
There's a lot of stuff back there.
All right, so I guess it's screened from public view. So the only question is the sound.
Is it an insulated box?
It's enclosed. You're going to have much less sound off this than something like a traditional sport court is. It is fully enclosed.
So sometimes when you order some of these, they have an insulation factor to help mitigate some of that noise.
They
from
do.
That sound.
Yeah.
Is this an insulated box?
It is. And actually, you can like custom build them. They're really cool. I think the company told me some other people were like looking at it in Bloomfield. Maybe they were talking about Hills, but
Maybe
you can-
Costco.
Oh, maybe Costco. Yeah, yeah. You can insulate them. You can build them with a little putting green inside. It's really cool. Ours is a little more basic, but we can absolutely insulate for sound. And like I said, if it pleases the board, we can turn off those lights at night on the outside.
So I just have one more question. Your drawing here shows 12 feet at the lowest pitch. What is the height? Because if it's a shed roof, it's 12 feet.
It's a flat roof.
It looks like it's
Okay.
pitched.
Oh, it looks like a shed roof to me, so that's why I was trying to figure out. So, according to your construction, it is not gonna exceed 12 feet.
Correct.
Okay, so how will we get there?
Any other questions from the board?
Are we also talking about an addition?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, yeah, so, again, great question, sorry, thank you, Jocelyn. What is the addition?
The addition is ruled in one building and attached both from the outside and the inside. So it's gonna be a bathroom and laundry, and then in the back of it is going to be housing all the pool equipment. Tom, do you have the? Oh, one more. I'm sorry, no, you were right. Yeah, it's right there on the side. Oh, no, go. If you see that, like, west elevation and the brick, and then that's the front of it, that front of it is the door to our bathroom. And that's the only door you're gonna access from outside. It's directly parallel with our pool, in front of our pool, so it's not facing the side yard neighbor. The only door that would be on the side yard would actually be completely in the rear of this and is also gonna be blocked by trees. That's just for the people who are gonna do the pool equipment maintenance, to be able to like walk outside, make it easier for them to maintain that. And then from the inside of that area, which is almost like a cabana house, you're gonna be able to access it, the bathroom from inside, the laundry from inside, so you're not walking around. We're actually gonna have all evergreens and then annual flowers up to that building. You're really not gonna see it.
So I'm gonna need a little bit of help. What is the practical difficulty that you need the 2 feet?
Well, the practical difficulty, one, we need to fit that pool equipment comfortably in order to like work on it and maintain it. We are gonna put that pool equipment inside there now to be conscientious to our neighbors and to improve the longevity of it. My homeowner bought the house, he didn't build it. There's an existing bump out that bumps into the side yard setback, I believe about like 2.5 feet right now. We're coming up to that and we're actually a little shy of it. And it just, it's close to the property line. It is a nice sized house. It's close to the property line. We couldn't fit what the structure was intended to be, without that 2 feet. That's why we're only going to, and I think it's like 1'10".
So the bump out you're talking about, is it a foundational bump out or is it a cantilever bump out like?
It's a foundational bump out. It's a chimney.
So there already is well, do chimneys count as part of our setbacks? They would, so you already have a 2 foot encroachment.
Yeah, we didn't build that or do anything with
So,
that.
but
Yeah.
you already have a 2 foot encroachment,
Yeah.
so you're just matching that with the rest of the plan of the
Correct,
home.
correct. Thank you. I guess a chimney has a footing, so it would be considered part of the
Yeah,
structure.
I've seen some where we cantilever them out because we have to get the
Yeah,
extra feet,
yeah,
right? So
true.
as we try to sometimes engineer around some of these plans.
Right,
problems,
right.
so that's why I was asking.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought I submitted, you don't have my renderings for all this to show like all the beautiful.
We don't include
beautiful-
everything, but I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really had nice softscape
No,
around all this,
it's,
that's why I wanted.
when you guys showed that like top part, I didn't see that at all.
Yeah,
So I didn't,
yeah.
so I'm glad we were talking about the addition, so thank you, Jonathan,
Yeah.
for bringing that up. Because I didn't see that as part of the application, I know it said it, there wasn't I didn't have as much information associated with that.
Any other questions?
So, yes, I have a question. We approved, like fire pillars and a spa and sports court. Where is that currently?
That is on our pool plan, and if you zoom into that, Tom?
So what exists and what is, or is this gonna be added to what we approved earlier?
Yeah, and I'm gonna take that sport court out, because it's in the same location. We're gonna axe that, and we're gonna put that golf simulator instead. It's a bit smaller as well.
So are the locations the same as it would be at?
Yeah, essentially that sport court was in that corner, it's just the footprint is smaller now.
How big was the sports court?
20 by 20.
So was it a smaller sports court as well?
It was, yeah, we can't accommodate without trying to pass a setback, we don't wanna do that.
Again, you had me at the, getting rid of the sports court, I appreciate you guys throwing that out there, so.
And if, Andrea, if you see, those two fire pillars at the spa right there,
Oh, yeah.
on the side, and that spa was also raised above grade a little bit to accommodate the grade of the cabana, so it's level with the grade of the cabana. So it was above our 9-inch threshold. We had to get a permission variance for that.
As part of your screening plan, are you gonna be, because I see the evergreens along the northern side, is there,
To be honest, that's deceiving. Literally from, you see those steppers on the side right there?
Yep.
Coming up the left side, all the way that side, all the way the rear yard, coming back all the way down past the driveway, we're gonna do evergreen screening.
and what height?
12-foot high,
They're all gonna be 12 feet.
correct.
Any other questions?
They're gonna touch too when we plant them. Make a nice hedge.
So I think we could give you the third place award for eliminating a sports court. So let's
Excited about
open the public hearing. Anybody like to speak on this? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Nanette Wader, and my husband, Mark Didavo. We are adjacent to the Mansur property, and so for the past 25 years, we have lived there. We're here tonight because the appeal will have a direct and lasting impact on our home, our property, and our neighborhood.
I don't mean to cut you off.
We request that the board.
Ma'am, what's your address?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2662 Indian Mound South.
Okay, thank you.
Directly
That-
to
that
the
way- That way I can see what house you're
Yep,
referring to.
no worries.
Thank you, dear.
We request that the board deny approval of both the home expansion and the golf simulator. These variances are self-created. The applicant acknowledges that the existing residence is overbuilt and a portion of the structure currently encroaches into the required side yard setback. Variances should be infrequent, granted to address practical difficulties or unique hardships, not conditions created by prior overbuilding or design choices. This request intensifies an already non-conforming condition. The golf simulator should at a minimum be tabled until the township's one-year moratorium on sport court approvals is resolved. A simulator raises identical concerns the township is studying: noise, lighting, drainage, impervious surface coverage, and neighborhood character. The simulator will be heated and cooled, resulting in noise and light impacts year-round. Golf ball strikes on the club or in the front wall, occupants' mechanical equipment, light from the 3 large glass walls, exterior lighting will adversely impact neighbors. The scale and intensity of the proposed and previously approved structures are not consistent with our residential neighborhood character. Collectively, the pool, the spa, swing and waterfall structure, fire pillars, fence, golf simulator, home expansion, garden wall, create a property that resembles a commercial-style recreation compound rather than a residential yard. Drainage and stormwater runoff are concerning. The extensive landscape, impermeable surfaces are issues for neighboring houses at lower elevations. Screening and a garden wall between our shared property line and the driveway is not achievable given limited space. It's about 24 inches. And there are material inconsistencies and omissions. For example, the golf simulator public notice references a 24 by 16-foot structure, but the site plan depicts one that is 20 by 12. So is it 384 square feet or is it 240 square feet? The simulator requires a 25 by 17-foot foundation and mechanicals. Both are not disclosed, despite increasing the overall footprint, site coverage, and setback encroachment. And the proposed garden wall and pool mechanical equipment lack detail. The appeal materials do not provide an accurate depiction of the final project, the setbacks, or the property impact. We selected this neighborhood because of its residential character, its open space, and compatibility between homes. We believe the elements previously approved and tonight's request exceeds what is appropriate for a residential property in our neighborhood. Enough has already been approved. Incremental encroachments and expansions should end. We ask the board to draw a clear line, protect our neighborhood character, and deny both requests. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could add one thing, we keep.
So your name?
Mark Didabo, her husband. On the right side, you'll see that the driveway goes right, probably 1.5 feet to our lot line. I don't understand how we're gonna have 12-foot high blockage on all that right wall there. divide it roughly?
I have a picture of the driveway, and this was taken last summer prior to all the trees being taken down on the property.
So typically, yeah, we can't take, that's hearsay, so you can't have, you speak on behalf of somebody else, it's, so. We're not giving that
No,
way.
I get it, yeah. Anything else for us?
Nope. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this? Did you want to speak?
My name is Randolph Shine. I live at 2709 South Indian Mound Road. I'm across the street in one property to the west. I am concerned about the proposed golf simulator, whether that will create a noise nuisance. I am more concerned with those elements that are closer to my own property, which is the proposed alteration of the structure and the proposed addition the proposed addition is approximately an extension 12 feet towards the side property line. I can't quite tell from the site plan that was given, but it looks like it's going to bring it maybe 9 or 10 feet closer to the property line. If that is going to house pool equipment, I'm wondering whether that will totally be enclosed and what the noise impact will be. Also, that will not only bring the entire house closer to the west property line, but because there was nothing in that side yard previously, it will actually bring the structure closer to the street and closer to my property line. I don't think there is any hardship posed by anything other than items of the property owner's own creation that would necessitate these variances. I'm also wondering why a pool was proposed when he did not plan to have the pool equipment outside in the pool, but now wants to put that in an addition closer to my property. That's my only comment.
Hold on. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item?
My name's Dan Sullivan. I live at 2780 South Indian Mound. I have no issue with the variance for the pool equipment because I think he's going to screen that area. My concern is the northwest corner. There's a drainage issue, and from what I read about in the plan is all of the water will drain to that area. Currently, there's construction going on right now, so it's not a big issue, but right now, the backyard of my property, which neighbors his west side fence line, has started to kind of flood a little bit. I think it's just a matter of they need to get rid of the water, so they're just running a hose. Maybe it's a busted sprinkler line, but the plan does show kind of a sump pit in the northwest corner, which is basically I shouldn't say our only area to play in, but it's a good area for my kids to play in. So, thank you.
What was
Yeah.
your address again?
2780 South Indian Mound.
So you're in the north, so your house is to the northwest of his, right?
If I may.
Yes. I just can't, my eyes aren't as good to try to look at the.
Yeah, so basically, I'm right here.
Perfect.
That's my van. And essentially, it's just in here. This is the variance he's asking for.
Yep.
But right here, there's some sort of water funneling system. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing and let the applicant respond.
Just don't mind, Tom, I asked him if he could pull up a rendering to see our final product. And to the gentleman concerned with drainage, I do have an approved like drainage plan. I remember specifically going back in the comments with Bob from Township, and that was addressed. And to our lovely neighbor's concern and her items, you know, I know she brought her notes, and just a lot of those are incorrect. You know, the footing for the structure will be 12 by 20. The structure will not be heated and cooled. And to my gentleman here, there's gonna be pool equipment, and it was gonna be on that same side yard, and I think it would be to his benefit that it's now enclosed in a structure. This permission, I don't agree, should be treated like a sport court. As anything, it should be treated like a pergola. And it was sitting within my side yard setback and within my rear yard setback. We've kindly offered to turn off the lights, as I said when I was first up here. And if you're kind of seeing Tom go through this, there's just every inch of the property line, rear and both sides, is gonna be screened. No one's really gonna see anything. And if that's, Tom, stay right there. On that right corner, we're gonna do a double evergreen with annuals blocking that whole addition, so you're not gonna see that. There's our lovely golf simulator over here. Again, you're not gonna see it. So, you know, I do understand the concerns, and I would love to work with them and accommodate them. I'm taking out that sport court. We are decreasing the footprint. I do have an approved plan to do this, and, you know, I'm beholden to the board. I can't be beholden to clerical mistakes saying, she brought up clerical mistakes. It's, I can't control every aspect like that. But, you know, I can show you, we're gonna build this and do it the right way, and we're gonna follow proper protocol, and I believe we are doing so today, showing up here and offering all the right things. And, you know, people are saying that we're creating this problem of the house, and we're not. You know, there's really nowhere else to put it. We can't put it in our rear side yard. We're not gonna detach a structure for this bathroom laundry. And I think it's to their benefit that they're not gonna see any of that, and it's all gonna be screened from not only a building and evergreen screening.
So, is there any picture that shows the full screening plan? Because we had that one you said.
If you just go to the top, Tom, like toward the, let's go toward the, no, one more. I'm sorry, one more down that way. My bad. Real quick, let's look at that. If you guys just, if I may, as well, come up here. Where our lovely neighbors are over here who lived here for 25 years, all the way to the driveway, all the way down, all the way across, all the way across, all the way here. Like, this is gonna be double screened. You're not gonna see any of that. And then very screened. We're really investing in screening.
But on, so what about the point where it said there's no room there? You know, I can't.
That's just the rendering cutting off. It's following that line. That line goes all the way. They connect to each other.
So there is room to have plantings? I don't know, what is it? Is that the west, is north at the top? Is that
Absolutely,
on
there's
the
room
west
to have
side?
plantings. Absolutely.
So how much room is there on that?
At least 4 to 6 feet, there's gonna be room there.
And how tall are the plantings gonna be?
12 foot tall.
So, Mr. Chairman.
Where's the pool equipment in that view there?
That pool equipment.
Thank you.
In the proposed addition.
Correct.
And the bump out's like, how many feet?
Right under 2.
Chairman, if I may, a couple questions.
Sure.
So it appears the house is already non-conforming based on the plot plan he's shown. So he's already on his eastern neighbor, the one that spoke, that has been there for 25 years. He's technically already non-conforming at 1411. So, and then on his western side, that bump out is already non-conforming. So like he already has a couple that are already in there, that were done before he does anything to this home.
You're saying they're already in the setback?
They're already
No,
in the
but-
setback.
Yeah.
Before additions, before anything, house is
Correct.
built that way. So, those things. And then, to the neighbor that talks about, specifically the noise and light pollution and some of those things, and sound pollution associated with the, golf simulator, whether there's a moratorium or not, he was approved and has permits pulled for a sports court. So I guess I would say to the board, what is less impactful? If we hypothetically deny that, he is in his right to put a sports court in his backyard and utilize it during daytime hours, regardless of the neighbors like it or not.
And we could ask the neighbors too, like, you know, I'm sure they would prefer that shed rather than a sport court, right?
This is part of that whole, I
Yeah.
don't know if we can have that super dialogue, I was trying to have it up here, but I appreciate.
I'm sorry.
So, that is, again, so I appreciate what the neighbors are saying about an additional structure or some of these other things, but he already has that now. And then for the water mitigation, regardless of what we do, if we deny you or approve you, I would require topography as well as a civil engineering for the water mitigation plan to be updated based on these new changes that may or may not be in.
Absolutely.
So that they can mitigate both the neighbor across the street that talked about water mitigation, as well as a neighbor in that northwest corner, which again, may be part of your plan to put it there and pump it out, but then it is done by a civil engineer, which takes it off, the liability off your plate, and then lets our neighbor know that we've paid a professional to do that. That would just be something that I would want if we were to consider anything on this plan. So, and then regards to the proposed addition, regardless if he has pool equipment, mechanical equipment, it's gonna be screened. So if it's outside, while there is some screening, there is still gonna be noise pollution that occurs from it. If we put that inside, theoretically, there's gonna be insulation, there's gonna be, whether it's glass or building insulation, that will mitigate sound more than outside. So that actually should reduce those impacts to his neighbors. Because whether he puts it inside or outside, it has to be screened, right? Like, so it seems like a few of these things have been thought through and try to address some of those neighbors' concerns. But I would love to hear what some
I'd
other
add just
people.
one more item to that, in the sense that with sports courts, we ask that they're not lit. So if we approve the golf shed, maybe not having it lit on the outside
Well,
at all.
He already
Not
agreed.
just turn a switch off, but have no lights on the outside.
Eliminate the illumination.
Yeah, because with the sports court, we don't have illumination.
That's true. Well, my only thing about the addition, and correct me if I'm not thinking about this correctly, I understand that there's already a bump out that's already non-conforming, that's encroaching. But to additionally add to that by an addition, or no?
That's why I was doing the same thing. It's not exactly clear in some of the documents we have. If you look on that plot plan, it's matching that existing bump out. So the bump out is already 14 feet from the property line. His proposed addition will still be 14 feet from the property line in a different location. So if we
So
look
we're
at,
not making it any worse.
we're technically not making it worse. I'm not.
No,
well,
not making
well,
it.
there's
I'm
more
not-
of it.
I'm-
There's
That's
more
more
of it.
of
It's
it.
not
There
going
is
any
more of
farther.
it.
No, I'm
There's
not
more of
talking
it,
about
but
it
it's-
encroaching
But
further.
it's not going further
You're not increasing
What I'm
closer to the
saying-
neighbor.
non-conformity.
You're
Correct.
increasing,
The amount of encroachment.
right.
That is
which
correct.
The adjacent neighbor, I mean, it's already encroaching, and it's pretty close. And
Non-conformance is increasing.
they're
in terms of
non-conform,
square
right.
footage.
Their
The
square
encroachment
footage
isn't-
is increasing.
Yes, so
Not the
when you
line.
really think about it, and I'm just thinking, if you already have a non-conforming encroaching on the adjacent neighbor, I mean, that's already there. You can't do anything about that. But to expand upon that could be something that's objectionable.
And that's a fair statement, but I think about the one before, like in the village, when the gentleman already was non-conforming in his garage 1 foot. We let him do a continuation of that same addition 1 foot. He technically just increases non-conforming longer for that 13 or 15 feet
Well,
of
we
that
granted
garage.
variances that increase nonconformities before.
So-
And this is not in the village. So the
Well-
village has nothing to do with this.
Well, I'm just, that was just the one we just
I know
did.
you're saying that,
A lot
but
of the
since it's come up, I thought I'd just
non-conforming
clarify that.
Usually, if
Are
I
going
understand-
up.
Going up. They're not necessarily expanding the square footage.
we
They're
have-
usually building up on it, so.
Is there any place in the back to put all the pool equipment?
It was going exactly where it is. Now it's gonna have a building to insulate sound, and like Chris said, actually, we're gonna do that shredded newspaper. I'm sure you know that insulation, like that rock wool, that like deadens sound, cause the homeowner also doesn't wanna hear it, so we're really gonna deaden the sound in that room. And there is one last thing I forgot to mention, she talked about a garden retaining wall. It was an existing wall that was failing, we're putting it back at the same height and the same footprint. So I just wanted to add that we're not trying to put walls everywhere. I know the rules on walls, and I do believe, like what Chris, the point he's making, that trade-off of, adding to this encroachment to everything you're gonna gain and benefit from it, as it's still gonna be screened, not only on the property line, it's gonna be screened up to the building, and then it's gonna mitigate all that noise pollution from our pool equipment, which originally was intended to go exactly there, but be outside.
Yeah, so that's the benefit of it, is the pool equipment's going inside now and has,
Versus if it was just outside, he would just have some plantings around it, or screen it with his normal screening.
Right.
But that noise would still be able to travel to the neighbors.
I think that's subjective, but. I think that's just
You think
my
what?
opinion. I think
It's
it's subjective. I mean, I think some people would say, okay, I'd rather have the noise mitigated, as opposed to having, but there's, someone else could say, I'd rather have the encroachment next to my adjacent property smaller, as opposed to expanding. So I mean, I guess.
That's fair.
It's, I'm not sure if it's just an absolute, but,
No.
but this, just kind of the thoughts.
Great point.
If I may
And I
add
don't
one.
know about golf simulators, so maybe you can help me, but is there any noise involved? I mean, you're not hitting balls, correct? You're just.
No, you are.
Oh, you are?
I'm not much
Oh,
of
I
a-
thought it
hitting a
was a
golf ball
I
into a
thought it was
screen.
virtual.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it on television, but I didn't.
It is. I'm not much of a golfer myself, but to my understanding, you stand and you swing the club at a screen and it hits the screen, and I guess in real life, the ball will really travel that
It
far.
But you are getting balls?
Simulates golf.
Yes.
And if I may add one more thing,
It was a virtual ball.
No, it's a real ball against a virtual screen.
no, it's a real golf ball.
Correct, and it has that noise.
Yeah.
yes,
Go
Chris,
ahead, we're gonna talk about something.
yeah, Chris, to your point too, the neighbor actually also directly adjacent to the west, I think it's this gentleman's, I guess he would be in front of
Across.
him. He has that letter in support, and a big way we told him he wanted to support it. He's like, oh, you're gonna block your equipment. I'm not gonna hear it. Great.
I think it's better than a sport court.
What?
I think it's better than a sport court.
So,
What do you think of the lighting on it?
Well, I agree that the lighting shouldn't be there, but this is a unit they're buying, so it might already have the lighting in it.
are you buying it or is it custom built?
We're buying it and it's custom built. If it's conditional upon not putting lighting, I mean, we don't need it. We don't need that lighting on the outside. It's, it's an indoor place. Yeah.
So, oh, we're not supposed to have direct dialogue. We're trying to help you. We can't have direct dialogue. Sound good? So, again, one of the big sports court issues is sound mitigation as well as water, as well as impervious surface. We're taking care of the impervious surface because at least one of the conditions of my approval would be is civil engineering and water retention updated based on the new site plan and approved by our engineers. Do we want to add something to ensure that sound mitigation is being addressed by this unit? Like we do when we have a generator, it requires to have so much decibels at the property line. Is that correct, Andrea? When we put a generator in, they have to maintain our sound ordinance in order to put it in.
That's correct. It's measured 25 feet from the unit, and it cannot exceed 70 decibel. I guess I would, based on the information presented, I guess I'd have the applicant discuss what the decibel sound would be. I can't, I mean, if that's a condition you want.
Comes close to it.
Yeah,
I wasn't
can
referring to
imagine,
pool
there's no
equipment.
way. Yeah.
I was referring to the golf simulator.
Yeah.
Even less than a generator, I would believe so.
Well, with the golf simulators, are like at the bars, is there a program you're playing to, or the?
No, it's you're hitting it into the screen. I mean, that you're gonna have that sound of the club hitting the ball, but this isn't a fully enclosed structure, like the door's closed, you know.
Oh, you're inside of it when you're hitting the
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
with
you're
the door
inside of
shut?
it,
Oh,
yeah,
it looks like
yeah,
you're
you're
from
inside of
inside
it, yeah.
hitting it into the-
Absolutely, no, you're inside of it.
Okay, well, that's a little different. I
Is the
didn't know
glass
that.
tinted
Does
at
it
all?
look?
That's a better situation.
I think you can get it tinted if you
100
like.
to 120 decibels.
Say it again, Scott?
It's 100 to 120 decibels when you hit a ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Right,
So
right.
that,
This is-
again, trying to, obviously,
on
like you
Google.
said, you keep trying to be a good neighbor on all these things.
Is it less than pickleball?
Oh, much less.
I would-
Pickleball, I do
think it
play.
is.
Scott, what were you gonna say?
I think it's probably less than pickleball.
Yeah,
And it's inside a structure.
and it's inside a structure.
So outside it's gonna be far less than 100, 120.
Well, if you're trying to get, you could also, if you didn't get this, you could set up a portable net and hit balls into a net in your backyard.
And there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah. And people do that.
Correct, that's their right.
Balls in my yard, but not all year round.
So,
Okay.
so I'm just saying, there's,
Is there any way that a condition associated with getting a noise study to address some of the neighbors' concerns would make sense? I don't know if it's enforceable.
you mean on a golf simulator? the
Yeah,
noise-
so just have the applicant have an engineering plan or some type of noise mitigation like we do some other places that come up with it, whether they insulate that shell to ensure that nothing outside of it has more than 70 decibels.
Is it
Yeah.
possible that it could be louder than pickleball? I mean, I can't
But we
imagine.
wouldn't
What?
approve the pickleball quite yet.
So,
We could pull up
do you
a
know,
chart.
do you know if that,
Ask,
do you know if that company talks about what the sound is
ask
outside of it?
Google Gemini.
I don't think so.
Because I know some of those, like,
Yeah.
they'll tell you all these different.
I do know that you can insulate it though. You know, it's supposed to be its own, self-contained unit. And that's why I thought like no brainer over a sport court. They were like, oh my God, okay, thanks.
Well,
Yeah.
again, some of your neighbors have different
Abs-
viewpoints.
absolutely.
So our goal is to try to mitigate those problems.
Absolutely.
While ensuring that your client can invest in their home.
Being fair.
Pickleball is slightly less compared to Google.
Okay?
So it's louder.
It's like 95 to 100.
So,
But that's outside.
Mr. Mansour, why don't you got something?
Yes, Clint Mansour, property owner. So I don't know, I know you're looking it up on Google, but again, this is indoors. So this is not the decibel level
It would
of
be
a
less
golf ball
indoors, for sure.
hitting outside. So obviously, the sound's gonna be muffled. It is an interior structure. We'll do our best to, consider the neighbors' feelings with respect to the noise. But, if you're hitting, and I don't know who plays golf here, but really the loudest part of the golf ball is probably the driver. If you're hitting an iron, that's way less probably than that.
Especially if you're hitting it on the sweet spot every time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, we'd love to address some of the concerns of our neighbors, and, I know the lighting is an issue, so if we have to do it without lighting on the exterior, we're fine with that. We do have exterior lighting all on the perimeter by our garage, which is floodlights, are way brighter than, a little tiny spotlight that would be inside the golf sims, so. But we're happy to eliminate the ones on the exterior, and if we wanna appease the neighbors, we can tint. I think someone brought up tinting the glass, we could do that also as well. But I doubt any of the interior lighting would really affect any of the neighbors considering the location,
So, again, trying to.
with the screening as well.
So again, trying to address what the neighbors' concerns are, the lighting, so if we tint it, that'll mitigate some of the lighting interior and remove the exterior lighting. If we have it be insulated, it'll reduce all sound associated with it, and again, this gentleman has the ability to hit golf balls in his backyard, and that's allowed. And then the pool equipment, if that is being considered, would be in an insulated, approved room at the same, encroachment as other parts of his home. So it would, again, in theory, provide less noise pollution, but maybe still be more of encroachment. I think just adding that the tinting has to be in the glass, it has to be an insulated unit, and no exterior speakers.
Speakers,
Are the-
music?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't need that.
Could you tell me a little
And
bit?
one other thing also as well, I didn't want to put it outside. I'd rather put it inside my house, but my ceiling heights are just too low
I know.
in order to do that.
You have to
So
dig
that-
out the basement.
Yeah, that's the only reason why we decided to do it outside, so.
What about this wall, the garden wall? Where is it? Like,
Please.
yeah, are you rebuilding there, or how tall is it?
It's like not even 2 foot above grade.
Okay,
There's
that's
an
why we're not
existing
even-
boulder wall here. We're doing an interlocking wall. It's not gonna fail this time, and it's going in the same spot around the driveway to retain the driveway.
Okay.
And that's
It's on
why,
my
it's-
Thank
approved
you.
plan with the pool.
All right, great.
Mr. Chairman, unless anybody else, any other discussion, I think I'm ready to make a motion.
Well, here's, I'm gonna drag this out. So we have this noise comparison to pickleball, and the only other thing, so we had a approved sports court, not popular with the homeowner, but, you know, typically you can't use the court, you know, after it's dark. So if you're hitting a driver inside this shed at 10 in the evening, I don't know what that sounds like. That's my only.
Yep.
I just want to state that we do have, there are golf simulators within the township, and we have not had issues with noise complaints. I'm just sharing that for what it's worth.
In the backyard?
There was one that was approved by this board a few months ago. It was more of a shed in the backyard. It didn't have the lighting aspect of it, but that was a golf simulator that was approved. So
Do
I
we
don't
have
have
daytime
enough
hours?
knowledge about the sound. I can just speak to the fact that I know that that people do have them on their private property. And we have never had complaints related to the sound, so I'm not, I just want to state
Okay.
that.
Do they have hours of operation on that one? Do you know if we did the same thing?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
It was,
I don't have a problem with the simulator.
And it's inside, so all I'm saying is I don't know what that sounds like, because this is the first time, I don't remember approving one, and I haven't been at every meeting, but I believe, you know more than I do, so. All right, go ahead, if you're ready.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion in regards to, we'll start with the permission request. For the, in regards to the appeal at 2688 South Indian Mound Road, for the accessory structure. I move the request be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty based, section 42-76 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood as others in their township have this. Second, for the dimensional variance, for the home expansion encroaching 2 feet into the required 16-foot westerly setback, I approve the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strictly the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because the pool equipment will be already there. Why enclosing it? We not only lengthen the longevity of that equipment, but reduce sound and noise mitigation to our neighbors. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of the neighbor that is being impacted the most to that side, give a letter of approval, as well as we are reducing the sound for that neighbor. The unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated, given the fact that you already had a 2-foot encroachment on that same side. This is not self-created due to the fact that the 2-foot encroachment that was done prior to your client buying it already existed. The amendments that we're gonna have, you will be required to have an updated civil engineering plan for water mitigation for the entire site based on all the updates we are doing. That will be submitted during your building application, so we can mitigate all the water. Second, we will be tinting the glass on that to help with light pollution to our neighbors. Even though you're doing the 12-foot arborvitaes all around the property, that'll help mitigate any of that light pollution. We will not have exterior lights on it. And then your screening plan, you will have to put those arborvitaes to the edge of your front plane of your property. Can you do that?
Front plane of the property.
So the front plane of that garage, which is what one of the neighbors were talking about. Can we go back and let's talk about where the edge of that, where we stopping our screening plan? Can you point to it and tell me what is it?
Eastern side.
On the eastern side.
You see where this driveway bows?
Yep.
As I mentioned, there's a boulder retaining
Yep.
wall. There's some decorative boulders, they don't need to be there. We're gonna start our tree line probably around somewhere where the garage splits and we have a bow doing it. I do plan, and I'm good with him, to do pyramid Alice arborvitaes, that they grow skinny and straight, not the thujas. So we do have adequate.
So I need you to point exactly to it because where I would want you to start the screening, okay. I need the screening to start at the plane at the back of the garage.
right here.
Yep. Because when we're looking at cutting off all of.
You really only need 2.5 to 3 feet for the walls. They're not that large. Pyramidalis, they're not.
That is for you as well as your landscape architect to figure that out. That's perfect. Then I'm talking to the right guy. And it's his checkbook you're spending, so. But that way, it can mitigate not only sound, light pollution for our neighbors, water mitigation because it'll soak up water, as well as it'll prevent the neighbor from being able to see into that backyard. If you put it where you were suggesting originally, we would still be able to see the pool area and some of those things. So
Correct.
it has to be at the back plane. And then, if approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. The additional evergreen screenings will be required for the golf simulator. All those plantings along the exterior of the property have to be 12 feet or higher at time of planting. And then, how are you gonna screen in front of it so I can't see it from the driveway side? Where is it on here? So if you can't screen in the driveway.
In front of that retaining wall, I could wrap the arbs right in front of that retaining wall.
Okay,
We
so-
have like 10 feet there.
So 12 feet arborvitae's in front of it, so
Yep.
that
Just
your
to
neighbors.
block, if you're standing at the road, you're seeing like the driveway back there.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, yeah, we could do that.
yes, so that I can't see that. And I would like you to insulate the golf simulator.
Okay.
So just as part of your, we're reducing the lighting, we'll upgrade that, right?
Support.
So I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed?
Me.
So let's do a roll call.
Kalinsky,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
No.
Ford,
Yes.
Giagrande,
No.
Henry,
Yes.
Osquith,
Yes.
Gilliman.
Yes.
So the motion carries 4-2. I'm sorry, 5-2.
5-2.
Math has never been my strong point.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5. Yeah, there's no.
Thank you, guys. Tom?
Calling item 1760 Hamilton.
How do you get your driver to sound like 120 decibels? That's what I really want to know.
Don't.
Just ask Google.
I gotta work
Yeah,
on my swing.
I don't, I'm not playing with the right foursomes. I'm not hearing that with people.
It's been a long day. I'll try to be thorough and quick.
Okay.
I'm running out of gas. So, Joe Wilson, Wilson Design Associates, on behalf of the Simona residents for 1760 Hamilton. We're seeking a dimensional variance as well as a permission request for a fire pit as well as a series of retaining walls. Let me address the grade change in the retaining walls first, and then we'll talk about the fire pit for a hot second. So, what we are planning to do is along the west side of the property line is there's an existing concrete walk that goes from the driveway to the man door of the garage. From that point, we want to put a brick paver walkway with some steps down to the walkout elevation. That itself is about 10, 11 feet. From the walkout elevation down to, say, the lawn grade at the bottom of the slope is another 13 feet or so. Right now, there's an existing, probably non-permitted series of retaining walls and steps that are in disrepair. They're not safe, and an undersized patio there currently. I'd say that probably part of the existing structure that was there. Or I know my homeowners didn't build it, or it might have been a do-it-yourself or special. Not safe. What we intend to do is take that stuff out, increase that upper terrace, build some good walls with safe stairs from top to bottom, handrails, guardrails, landscape terrace in between the two. And from our west property line, instead of running the staircase basically down the property line and continue it, we jog that in to allow for some evergreen plantings and try to screen that wall. As far as the fire pit goes, it's a plug-and-play model. It'll be natural gas. It's a big pig, not gonna lie. It's a big fire pit. But there's also natural screening along that property line as well. So where our arborvitae stop, the natural screening should take over. And the way it's positioned on the lower small patio, it's really protected by those walls, so the neighbor on the, I guess would be the east side, I don't think they would even be able to see it. So I'd be happy to answer any questions or comments.
Any questions from the board? I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment?
Good evening. My name's Ed Plummer, 1865 Delrose Drive, also on the board of Square Lake Association. Number one, I'd like to bring to the board's attention that this is a brand-new home, first owner, I believe. So anything that was there was built when this home was constructed. This home was constructed with significant variances on side yard setbacks, with a topography of a very steep climb down to the lake. As I understand, and we have basically approved this plan with the understanding that they are accessing this work through the neighbor's property. I could ask the gentleman that question, or I could ask you to ask that question. That the only way they can get to work on this property is by access on the neighbor's property immediately west, which is currently under construction. Another significant house with no side yard very tight side yard setbacks. It is our understanding that it's been approved by the neighbor and the association, with the understanding that the seawall that was previously promised to be repaired and replaced, it is a steel, rusted, pitted, leaning into the lake seawall, that be repaired at the same time. One of the main purposes is to access this property, you have to go through the neighbors on the immediate west. Once that house is completed, and to get down there, you're gonna destroy the land, but right now it's dirt. Once that neighbor completes his home, you have no access to this property other than to go through his completed home again, destroy his landscaping to access a seawall that is falling into the lake. The seawall falling into the lake brings about pollution, fertilization, and it impacts the quality of the lake. So we ask that for this to be considered, that the repair and replacement of the seawall be part of the plan. Thank you.
Just a second, so when was that agreement made? So you're saying when they first came to the Architectural Control Committee?
I don't have the dates of that, and I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
Okay.
There was a verbal agreement, a verbal understanding, I just don't have that.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Is there anyone else in the public that would like to comment on this? Okay, so you need to come up and give us your name and address.
My name is Fadi Fauzi. This is my father-in-law. It's his home that we're talking about. I'm also his realtor. We actually bought this home already constructed with the seawall this way and the patio built the way that it is. He just bought the home August last year. We closed on the home. So we bought the home existing to what it is. We're just trying to improve on what's there because there's a lot of things that were poorly built. And to that seawall comment, that correlation of they've never fixed it and we've asked wasn't with us because we just haven't known the property before August of last year. And then when we wanted to do the landscape, we ran it by the Kirk, which is like the head of the HOA. He said he was okay with the plan because like anything to obviously beautify the neighborhood, the lake, because if you look at it right now, it looks terrible from the lake view, from any view that you look at it. If you see the pictures of what's there, but also with the neighbor property, the understanding was they are under construction. This material would all be brought down before their home is constructed. Their only basement is digged right now. they're not framed or anything like that at that level. So we would restore anything, any damage that would be done to their yard by bringing the stuff down, which already it's a construction site. So I just wanted to add that, because I just had a little more history about the homes.
Okay.
I would add to that as well.
Hold on a second.
Oh.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak
sorry.
on this? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Now the applicant can respond, although I guess the applicant's.
I would add to that as well on the plans, the top note on the plan says that we would like to get in writing permission from 1768 to use his property to build this. It's the top note on the, well, you cut it off there, Tom, but it was on a previous one, previous image. So there's that. The other thing is that we're dealing with a 5-foot setback on that western side. The eastern side, which is sloped down, there's 2 air conditioners on that side at the moment. And if we had to repair the seawall, it could be possible that 2 options come to mind. One, those ACs get temporarily displaced to allow access down that side, or to explore building it off the water. So there's that.
Any other questions from the board?
We're not here to discuss the seawall, so I don't think we can enforce.
No.
Or have
Wow.
a condition
Different
of
bottlenecks. Yep.
of a variance.
That's not in
So
front of
that's
us.
not in our purview. So while I can feel bad and understand where they're coming from, that's not our right to do that.
And I just, for point of clarification for the neighbors, the Bloomfield Township doesn't, we don't mandate, we don't get involved with seawalls. That's usually through Eagle, because it's on the water. So I just want to make that point of clarification that we can't require a seawall replacement because that's not under our purview. So I just want to make that clear.
Okay, it's motion time or discussion. Crawl to the finish line.
You got 2 more, come on.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'd love to make a motion.
Okay.
In regards to the appeal, we'll go with the permission request first. In regards to the appeal at 1760 Hamilton Drive for the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as you need retaining walls in this area because of the topography changes. Second, for the dimensional variance for the 2-tier retaining wall in the rear yard that is 8 feet above standard, and a retaining wall on the westerly side yard that is 3 feet at the maximum above standard, setback 1 feet from the side yard lot line. I move that variance be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all compliance for section 4 standards of practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because he's already 5 feet from the property line. So we need to find a way to hold that back so they can properly and safely access his backyard. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of, we're gonna be screening it to the best of our abilities, and the other neighbors are gonna be having the same topography issues that he does. The unique circumstance of the property have been demonstrated, given the fact that, again, topography changes are significant on this property. This is not self-created because, again, the property had significant challenges prior to this client buying it, and he bought it in the as-is condition. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen screenings shall be required to screen the fire pit and retaining walls from public view, and must meet or exceed the height of the structures at time of planting.
Support. I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, request is granted.
Thank you.
So the next item, item 18, 220 Williamsburg. Yep, you're up.
Good evening. My name is Eric Lasilla. I'm just here to request variance approval to allow me to replace an existing fence in my backyard with a 5-foot fence. I've got the approval of both of my neighbors on either side, as well as across the street, and I do have the approval of my homeowners association as well, so there's no issues there. Just a standard black aluminum fence will be my new fence, 5 foot high. Replacing, on the west side there, that's a chain link fence.
What's the height of the chain link? What's the height of your existing?
It's 4 feet,
It's 4 feet?
yeah.
Is there a reason why we chose 5 foot?
Because I have a dog that I'm fostering, and I want to contain the dog in the backyard, make sure it can't escape.
So normal dog enclosure fences are 4 feet, so why does your dog need a 5 foot one?
It's just, I think he'd have the ability to jump a 4 foot fence, so just added protection with a 5 foot.
And the fence is already in the same place you have currently, so the outlines that you're showing on this, you already have a fence in those exact same places?
Yeah, I'm not changing, it'll be in the exact same location as my current fence, just 5 feet high.
So has the dog ever scaled the existing fence?
I'm sorry?
Has the dog ever scaled the existing fence, gotten over the existing?
No, because I supervise him on a leash in the backyard currently, so.
What kind of dog is it?
I think it's a lab mix. It's a dog that I'm fostering from the shelter here.
Thank you for doing that.
Do you currently have screening on the side that's closest to on the picture here, it's to the left?
I'm sorry, my hearing's
I'm
really
sorry,
good.
do you have screening on the
I
fence that
have
you
high
currently have?
grasses that are on my property, on the left side there.
So if this is approved, you're asking for an additional foot. Are you willing to screen it on the western side that faces the street side? Because you're gonna be going against the property line, we cannot screen it if it's on the property line.
So are you asking if I could screen it in front so it's not visible from the street?
Yeah, so again, I know you have a gate on that side, but where your front door is,
Yep.
that section, screened, and then as much as it can be screened along the driveway side. I know it's on the other side of the driveway. Can you screen it?
Yeah, I can screen. I'm sorry, are you asking on the left-hand side there?
Where it says 55 total.
No, because that's on the property line, you can't screen that.
Are you saying in front of that?
In front of that.
Faces the front yard?
It faces the front yard. Anything that's front yard facing or street facing, can you screen it?
Yeah, I can screen anywhere it's required.
Sounds great.
Good answer.
So he was saying, screen the front of the fence that you can see from the street. That's
I
what
can
he was
screen
referring
there,
to,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
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 With whatever you want.
okay.
That has to be 365, some type of evergreen style plant.
Because I do have screening inside the fence, so I see what you're saying. So
Yeah,
it's
we
not
don't- we don't-
visible from the street, you want it in front of the fence.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
thank you.
Okay.
So I'll open the public hearing,
No comments?
close public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
So with regard to the appeal at 220 South Williamsbury Road for the dimensional variance request for a dog enclosure exceeding 4 feet, encroaching 16 feet into the required 16-foot side yard setbacks, and 25 into the required 25-yard setback, I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the fact that this is essentially a fence replacement and it is on the property line, so in some areas, screening is not possible. We are requiring, let's see here, there's no injustice to adjoining neighbors by reason that we are requiring that it is screened from public view in the front. And there are other fences in this neighborhood similar. Unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated that the fence, like I said earlier, is an existing fence and is being replaced, and by that, it is not self-created. So, if approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings shall be required to screen the dog containment fence from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the fence at the time of planting. And we referred to that when we were talking about planting in front of the fence.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, request is granted.
Okay, thank you.
Calling the last item. 2543 South Telegraph.
Hi, how are you?
So you're the Costco representative.
I'm the guy that sold that greenhouse, yes.
Those
All
are
right.
nice.
May
Okay.
want to look at the golf simulators now.
I know, right?
Start carrying those.
I'm sure we offer those online. All right, so we maintain a fleet of drivers that deliver out of Van Buren Township. They deliver in odd hours. So in order to maintain restroom access, we would like to put an exterior restroom. It's not open to the public. It's not intended for employee use on a standard basis. Would maintain keys to the facility, obviously, to maintain it and keep it clean. But it's intended for our fleet drivers overnight. They would have a key and access so they could use the facilities. It's gonna be about halfway down that building, just in front of the compactor. It's almost an alcove that's over there. I was talking to the engineer this morning. He wasn't able to come, so you guys got me, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my name is Chris. I'm the assistant general manager up at Bloomfield Costco. But it sounds like they're gonna be able to do it in, I think they call it split face brick, so it's gonna match the building. It's about 12 feet tall. I'm not sure the exact dimensions. It's gonna be, say 12 by 12 by 12. Pretty accurate. So it's gonna match the building. It's gonna look okay. Nobody's gonna have access to it. I think one of the comments was that we had a couple dumpsters out there. I have a couple compost bins and a couple recycled bins that I have out there. I put in a project work request with my corporate team to actually fence those in. So I think that should address the problems there with those guys. I think there's some pallets that were in a picture too that we sent over that shouldn't have been there in the first place. So we just need to do a better job of keeping it clean, which we will. That's pretty much it. Questions?
So it's not directly attached to the side of the building, or it is?
It will be. They're gonna draw water from inside.
It's still considered detached, the way it's designed.
Okay,
But yes, it will be integrated,
okay.
attached to the building.
Yeah, I have a restroom on the inside and they're gonna attach water and that kind of stuff.
And nobody's gonna see it unless they drive down there, right? I mean,
Correct.
Yeah.
Right-hand side, so little red square, right-hand side, that's Gulling Chrysler dealership. That's kind of like their overflow employee parking lot. That's just a driveway goes around my building, so. Plus, I mean, it's gonna look exactly like the building, so you won't even notice it.
And it's just got one door on it.
One door.
So they might just think it's a door into the building. Okay. Any other questions? Open the public hearing. Hearing no comment, I'll close the public hearing.
Chairman,
Oh, go ahead.
want me to do another one?
Huh?
Oh, sure. You can do it, it's okay.
All right, I'll close it out.
Yeah, perfect, love it.
You've been on fire tonight.
Yes.
It's been
So-
something.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Madam
okay, sorry.
That was for me. That was a side comment.
I will start with the permission request first. In regards to the appeal at 2343 Telegraph for an external restroom, I move that the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the structure should not be objectionable to nearby residents for the fact that it will be outfitted with the same materials and it will be compatible with the structure. In terms of the dimensional variance at the same location, I also move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, because without that exterior restroom, it would prevent reasonable use of the property for the fleet drivers and make it much more convenient. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors. For one, it's a retail area and makes very much sense, and it's going to be compatible with the design of the structure. Unique circumstances of the property, again, because most of the restrooms are inside, and it's probably very difficult for the fleet drivers to access them. This would be much more convenient to have it on the external part of the building, and because of that, it is not self-created. So with that, if approved, the motion also includes applications for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
And I love that
Thanks for your
Costco.
patience.
Is there anyone that would like to bring anything up before we adjourn?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Thank you, Ryan. Or not a question, a comment. I just want to introduce Griffin Grava. Is that how you say your last name? Grava. He is our PBO intern for the summer. So it's pretty exciting. And he is a student at Northern Michigan. And we're really happy to have him. He's been with us for a week, and he's doing great. And he has an interest in looking into urban planning, more importantly, community service, local government, which is pretty cool, I think, these days with this generation. So I just want to point him out and introduce him and let him be acknowledged as our intern for the summer. So thank you.
Welcome.
So Griffin, we have a great tradition here for all our interns. We ask them to stand and sing their college fight song. So if you could,
He is in the marching band.
so
might
if you
do
could
that.
just do that for us right now.
I know it word by word.
I thought you were gonna tell the Costco gentleman that he should have brought snacks.
I should have.
Yes.
No, I was talking to the engineer, he's like, hopefully you're early on the docket, and here I am last.
No, commercials always last.
Sorry.
It worked out for you, didn't it?
Yes.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Support.
And
Yes.
so moved. So all those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.